Jones, and I'm here to tell you folks, the world has fallen. The fascist globalist overlords, they're implementing the Great Reset. You don't believe me? I've seen the tapes. Watch it, folks. Watch as these pot-bellied Zoomer goblins work with the Illuminati to pit us against each other. I promised I'd be a good boy. I'm a good boy. There's only one cure, folks, and that's liberty. And there's no better channel to find freedom than Fabian Liberty. Anarchy is order. Government is civil war.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes. Hold on, you're ready. So we gotta move to the front.
Not only do you have a micro penis, which is an important point, but on top of that, you refuse to share your Pokemon cards, and that's not nice.
So first of all, a 2-inch penis is not a micro penis, okay? And for your second point, my Pokemon cards are all mine, and I don't have to share them if I don't want them. I work super hard together, and they're really special to me. So I'll keep them.
No, you don't understand. You can't continue to play with us if you refuse to share your
Not fair.
cards.
I'm Ukrainian, and this is my beach. I'm Ukrainian, and this is my gas station. I'm Ukrainian, and this is my school.
2 seconds earlier.
Would you let a Jew work out in your gym without paying if he claimed that the membership was promised to him by God 4,000 years ago?
Bro, you are fucking...
That's a good question.
Yo, you're fucking funny. No, I mean, everyone pays.
What if he tried bombing you for that?
Bro, I mean, that would be like some crazy crime. Some act of, I don't even know, terror, I don't know.
Are you taking a political stance right now?
It's found in my house. That's called a bird grasshopper. I'm gonna eat him.
He's not been transparent. I mean,
They are making routine announcements about the things they are finding, and they are inviting questions about the things they are finding every single day.
But by definition, he's not being transparent. They're not providing data for the things that they say they have found evidence of. They just aren't.
The White House has provided.
You can make announcements, and he also did admit that he actually.
So you just don't believe it. I mean, they are providing information. You just choose not to believe that it's true.
We're seeing about 13 months for these brain and spine MRIs. Cool. Canada, where healthcare is free, but only if you can afford to wait.
Step 10, states must publish their own map and allow internal challenges to their own map. So the government has published a map. They have invited the states to challenge the map. Then states have submitted initial proposals, and they then have to publish their own map and allow challenges.
Wait, who's challenging it within the state?
Well, organized interest groups, environmental groups, like I don't know who specifically, but literally anybody. This is, right. I want to say something because it's very important I say this. This is the Biden administration's process for its own bill. They wanted this to happen. This is how liberal government works now.
This is something they instituted for this bill.
For their bill. This is a bill passed by Democrats with a regulatory structure written by Democratic administration. Okay.
Right.
Step 11.
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
For our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done.
free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get these delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this? Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment. Thank you.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
In the shower, on a walk, the Dylan hour. Feeling sweet, feeling sour. I feel nothing. The Dylan hour.
Hello and welcome to Wales. We understand being a refugee isn't easy. They're going through so much. Fleeing your country is difficult, but Wales wants to help you feel welcome. The Welsh Refugee Council is here to help you.
Tell me you love me. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you mean it. You message one other guy ever again whether we're together or not. Get understand me.
But if you're a man who's stuck with a woman and you don't even get along with each other and it's a show marriage and you have to be together and you argue all the time and you're sexually repressed and you're being promised in secret that you can go to an island and finally be pleasured and satisfied, no one's ever going to find out, that's how you end up on the island. So this whole monogamy garbage that's being pushed by the West, especially amongst our elites, is the reason we have the biggest problem with pedophilia, and they don't have this problem in South America.
The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give
And I'm always arguing with them, hey guys, if no one pays taxes, then who's going to stop the fires? Who's going to stop all the violent crime? Dummies. And then the LA fire happened, and the fire department didn't stop the fire because I guess they ran out of budget for water, and the police didn't stop the looting because I guess they didn't want to get near the fire, and so I guess I lost that argument. My bad.
I didn't realize how bougie I was getting with my coffee choices. Does anybody get into something and then, hold on, put my seat up. I'm used to my seat being all the way down. I'm gonna change this. We don't need a monthly healthcare budget tonight, do we? We'll do war bonds. We're doing a short middle of the day stream. Let's not do the normal $50. That feels like that'd be an insult. This is for you guys today. We'll just do $20. Who cares? All right, this is kind of an impromptu Saturday stream. Coffee is disgusting. You go expensive or it's not for pleasure. Dude, look, I like good coffee. But, like, I didn't realize how bougie I was getting until I'm, like, hurrying up for stream. Especially with it being, like, not on my normal schedule. I'm a little off, right? I'm, like, I was running behind trying to get shit done. I was like, oh, shit, I need to take out the trash, you know, right? Like, I'm just going whatever. And so I get my coffee. I need you to understand, this is like my backup coffee. You know what I mean? Like, I drink cold brew that I get from a coffee place, you know, where I pick out the beans that I specifically want, that I grind myself, and then that I put in a French press overnight. And then I have coffee in the morning, like good cold brew, like coffee with the beans that I wanted, you know, ground a little bit coarser. And then this is just like bagged backup coffee, and I tasted it, and it's like top shelf bagged coffee, and I was like, oh, disgusting. Oh, this is shit. plebeians drink. Oh. I was like, oh, this might be a bit much. It's like, oh, who drinks this barely above Starbucks pre-ground coffee? Oh. I have a friend who ran a coffee shop, and everyone would rave about how good it was. Nobody knew they were serving Maxwell House. The trick was they used reverse osmosis filtered water. I mean, nah. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that story. Somebody lied to you. I can tell the difference. I have a reverse osmosis water filter at the house, number one. It's got like 3 different chambers, too, for like different shit. And that's the water I use in my coffee, to be fair. And with that, I can tell the difference between shitty coffee and coffee I've ground myself, etc. And I can tell when like the roast is too light and doesn't work with cold brew very well. Like, I absolutely imagine you could catch some people with that, without a doubt, especially with good quality water. But you're not like this idea that nobody can tell the difference. Nah. Like, and I do agree that there's a big percentage of people out there, like most psychological research will show, that if you just tell them something's good and other people tell them something's good, they will just believe it's good, regardless of what their own sensory information gives them, because they'll just assume they're wrong. They'll go with the madness of crowds. Jimmy, played by Tarantino, responds by expressing his preference for expensive gourmet coffee and his frustration with the currency. This has to be a bot, right? What the fuck is that? This has to be like some Chinese people testing out like chat GPT responses to chat to see if it can like make sense. There's no way a fucking human is behind that. And if it is, I'm genuinely, completely, fully, unironically concerned with this person's mental state. Because I do know a person like that, and they stopped showing up. Thank God. But they would like write poetry. I remember I saw him first on Stardust streams. It started with like Perugi or whatever. And he would like, and Stardust made him get on video and prove that he didn't have any human heads in his freezer. I'm going places being botted twice in a row. That or the internet's just full of bots. I need to be rich enough to have fancy coffee problems. To be honest with you, Rational Frontier, it started off as like a money saving thing. Because I'm gonna be real with you. Even if you go out and you buy, like I spend, now that I have like my water filter set up and I have my French press and I have a coffee grinder, right? Like there's some cost to get into, but I'm not doing like crazy, I don't have an espresso machine or anything like that, right? I'm just making cold brew coffee for myself. I spend like maybe like $15 a week, $12 a week on coffee, and that's pretty much my only expense. And then maybe with coffee cream, I buy like Chobani coffee cream. It's a couple bucks, and it lasts me a long time because I don't put a lot of coffee creamer in my coffee because it's cold brew. And when it's cold brew in a French press, you just don't need creamer to like cover up the flavor. It's just a little splash, and and it's mostly just heavy cream and a little bit of sugar. And like, so I mean, that being said, I could buy cheaper coffee, but I'm gonna make more money in this stream probably. Maybe not this stream because it's a random Saturday stream and not like a typical day I stream. I'm probably gonna make more money on this stream than like my coffee budget. You know what I mean? Like it's not a super expensive. I am bougie in that I need good coffee and that I prepare it myself so that it tastes better. But I'm not like one of these people that is like, has to have the 17 different tools to make sure that they aerate their espresso perfectly before they put it in the machine. I'm a few units behind diagnosing schizophrenia. Again, crazy, but that doesn't, maybe it is a human, but that's not something that doesn't make any sense. They use Belle Delphine bathwater. Oh no. Oh no. Dude. I hate that girl for what she did to the internet. Like, she really genuinely opened up the internet to OnlyFans. I mean, it was inevitable with or without her input, but she really showed to a lot of people that, like, there's a lot of money on being like a teasing whore and then funneling them to, you know, simp based things, you know? That being said, she was a fucking genius. Yeah, like she knew what the fuck she was doing, you know? I gotta cut my thing down a little bit. There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, like I said, it was gonna happen anyway. It was inevitable. But like, she definitely paved the way. You know, it's like, you know, she's the anti-Robert Frost of e-girls on the internet. You know what I mean? You know that poem, you know, but I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. That was definitely Belle Delphine. She went and did her own thing and then paved the new road. You know, two paths diverged in a wood. Be a whore, not be a whore. And she got it. Your pinned tweet is very based. I have to go check what my pinned tweet is. I forgot what it is. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate it. 14th Angel. I don't know that I've ever seen you in chat, so doesn't surprise me because this isn't the normal time I stream or normal day I stream, but welcome. Absurdity doesn't have to make sense. It's Dada. I think absurdity that doesn't make sense is actually not just evil and anti art and anti whatever medium it is put into, but is also just poorly done. I think absurdity, in order for absurdity to be good, and in order for absurdity to have value, and in order for absurdity to be productive in any capacity, it has to be subversive, right? So, like, you know, I know Casimir's in chat. Timmy No Breaks, right? Timmy No Breaks is like a phenomena on Kill Tony, right? He plays like an Andrew Dice-esque character. His real name's Tim Stifler. But he does an absurd character that subverts the concept of stand-up comedy and of podcasting spaces. And so it's really good, but it's good because it's grounded in reality insofar as it is absurdity against what the reality or the medium is. And it's done in a way, and it phases into reality from time to time by actual critique of the medium itself, and then, you know, going back into absurdity. So if your absurdity is absurd for the sake of being absurd, it's garbage and it's anti-reality and it's anti-art. But if your absurdity is there to highlight the medium or the message in such a way to showcase how people are sheepish or how there are layers that go unseen, or to kind of like throw it all up in the air and then put it back together with the pieces falling apart into a new shape, then that's great. That's progressive. And I don't mean progressive politically, but I mean progressive in the sense of pushing us forward into a better reality. I think this is like the biggest problem with like Marxian or left-wing or, you know, Hegelian thought of like synthesis, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. It's like it's close to good, but it's not quite right because it believes in contradiction in reality, when in reality, contradictions do not exist in reality. Rather, there are there are hidden things that contradict the claims of mediums and art and messages. And when you attack those things, what you're actually doing is cleansing contradiction, not synthesizing contradiction into a new form. Anyways, I tell dick jokes and talk about libertarian philosophy. If you're new and this isn't a normal stream time, I'm gonna talk with this guy I've talked to a couple of times. He's a great guy, Luca Brazzi, and he had a video he wanted me to react to. And if you guys have anything that you want me to react to, let me know. If there's some links or some shit you want to react to or talk about, especially if it's your own content, right? If there's any questions, best way to make sure that I pay attention to you is to give a super chat, like, share, subscribe, join the Discord. There's a bunch of people. It's a fairly active Discord. It's not like a crazy active one where like you can't have a conversation because there's too much going on. So I kind of like it. It's a nice happy medium. That's a nice appeal to authority there. Honestly, that one is almost funny absurdity. If it's intentional, if you're just saying random shit because you're hoping to see what sticks, like throwing spaghetti against the wall to see if it's done cooking, then it's retarded. But if you're like kind of subverting the debate bro-y way that people speak and like the constant need to talk about fallacies instead of, because there's like a means by which we often miss the forest for the trees. And so you're making a joke about appeal to authority despite the fact that I didn't appeal to any actual authority. That's hilarious. What's your thoughts on the black kid from Georgia that was trying to use plastic to make renewable energy where it's going after him all along with the EPA? I mean, like, I think it's cool that he's trying to make the process cheaper, but like the specific process he uses was invented in like the 1980s in Japan, and turning plastic into oil has been a thing for like a long time. It takes more. Originally, it took more energy than it can use. That is no longer the case. So it is a viable form of energy, but it's not a scalable form of energy. It is only really viable if you're doing it in your fucking garage, right? And so it's just not like I hope something, how to submit a vid for you to react. Well, Soap is Up, you're one of the few people that has been banned from the Discord. And so, I'll cut links off for tonight. Let me go to the thing, or for today anyways. Let me go to my chat bot. Give me a second. I gotta let it put links in. Yeah, okay, there's no link protection right now, so you should be able to post a link. You still can't post anything weird with like Zalgo text. And like I still have like certain words banned. So if your link has curse words in it or some shit, Obviously I much prefer super chats. I like the money. But yeah, it just seems like, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with the kid. I think what he's doing is kind of cool and fun. I think I have more of a problem with, like, black people that have decided that, like, he's an example of black genius and blacks are always creating and blacks are the true power. And it's just like, I see, like, them simp hard for this kid just because he's black. And then they're just like, see, whites can't do anything. Whites and the government are trying to stop them. And it's just like, it's a lot of retards. It's like, no, dude, you like, the kid seems like a cool kid. He seems like he's having fun and making content and getting people excited. I think mostly what he's doing is just kind of a meme. And people, conspiracy theorists and the like, trying to make it into something it isn't. Using Kill Tony was your appeal to authority. That's not appeal to authority. It's not what that means at all. It's just me giving an example from something that's a popular medium. Respect your takes, but you're equally the culture vulture. Culture vulture? I think that's subversive to the concept of culture itself. But also, what the fuck am I even vulturing? Like, what culture am I stealing? And yes, Chris DeBoy made this background have something a little bit more fun that isn't like some AI generated space shit. I think it's a cool way to I think it's just cool. Makes the vibe of the show a little bit more libertarian. You made a bunch. You did make a bunch. This is one I liked. All right. I might switch them around and see which one works. No, I haven't played Battlefield. MGK is an LLM bot? Yeah, I know. It is kind of funny though. I'm just kind of playing around with it to see what it does. I already spoke about it being that Final Fantasy VII music though. Dude, so I had to fucking like I get so many copyright claims and I was paying for music and I was getting tons of Chinese and India bot farms copyright claiming my music and putting all of my live streams in like algorithm hell for like somewhere between 30 to 40 days. And at a certain point, it was just like, well, why the fuck am I paying for music that's going to get copyright strike? I'll just play video game music that won't get copyright strikes. Like, there's no reason for me to pay $120 a fucking year to have it hurt my channel and fucking, and also take up a lot of my time trying to fight and dispute music claims. May I have to post all of them to your Discord? Yeah. Throw them in media recommendations or something. Oh, my bad. I had it in live chat. Let me look. No, I'm not seeing any links. Well, so the reason I've been doing like Elder Scrolls and Final Fantasy is because there's a ton of music compilations of them that are like 4 or 5 hours. So I don't have to like constantly fuck with music. Like I don't have to be like, oh, hold on, let me go find a new thing. Right? So like huge franchises like Elder Scrolls or Final Fantasy or something like that just has a lot of like chill music. It's probably being blocked. Yeah, but it's not. I'm not the one blocking it. Like I'm not getting any message that says not to post links. I've cut off the chat. Let me look at my settings, see if they like re-enabled. Customization, live chat replay, live chat summary, leaderboard, participants, anyone, message delay. There's no redirect. There's no trailer. This monetization shit. No, not for children. There's no paid promotion. There's no altered content. Automatic chapter. Allow automatic places. Automatic concepts. Tags. Recording date and location not on. License and distribution standard, not Creative Commons. Betting's allowed. Yeah, I don't have any settings. Like this is like on YouTube's end. You're probably like naughty on YouTube for some reason. Imagine you've been banned from a lot of places. Could it be that you need to restart the effect? No, because that's not how CloudBot, because my bot isn't through YouTube. It's through Streamlabs. I've had it like not be on before and then cut it on stream and it works fine. I've changed settings for it plenty of times in the middle of stream and they go into effect. But yeah, Luke is going to come in here in about a half hour. Dude, I feel like if you guys see me disappear, all right, if you guys see me disappear and like the channel goes away, I need you to know that I realized at some point that I'm just going to make more money being a girl. I'm going to cut this music off so I don't have to deal with copyright shit. This isn't, so these things are fake right now. This isn't actually live, okay? It's a recording, and then this is then takes it like, I don't know, like 5 seconds, takes like a couple minutes for it to work. But like we're a couple months, like less than a year away from this being perfectly live. And in a year, there's going to be a lot, like who needs VTubers anymore? You're just going to have the internet is going to be full of hot girls. Yeah, full of hot girls that are just Indian dudes. Can't wait to goon to me, Scott. Yeah, dude, right? It's coming. Very soon, I will disappear and there'll be some new based ANCAP chick. And they'll be like, how come why are they always Indian? Because India is 25% of the world's population. And because we have shifted a whole bunch of tech and support and menial jobs to that country. And because the currency evaluation makes it to where you can make a lot more money doing shit like that. Oh, not sorry, is it 12%? Sorry. Total population of India. I don't know the exact number. I'll look it up. I'm just saying like 25%. I shouldn't have said 25% exactly. In percent. 17.8%. Right? So it's a little less than a fifth. But again, right? Like it's this huge fucking place where the currency isn't nowhere near as valuable as the dollar, but they still have like a tech sector. And so you can make like, if you make like somebody in India can live like without any supplemental income off of like how much money I make on streams very comfortably. You know what I mean? Like, whereas what I make here in America is like on these streams is supplemental income. Africa will be half the world's population in 50 years. I mean, all other things being equal, sure. Like, but I mean, as it stands, Africa has not stopped killing themselves. So, you know, will there be a big population boom? And then will like white people and banks and corporations move in to try and offshore manufacturings and then try and create another Rhodesia? And then we just have like a whole full-blown genocide. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to know. Like, they very well could also just bomb themselves out of anything because they've shown over and over again that they're incapable of running like any decent governance or high trust society. Like, I think Botswana is like the best example of like Africa doing anything stable. And even that is like still basically a third world country. All right, the bot's getting boring. I'm going to time out the bot. It's not fun anymore. Little 24-hour. Where do you even find libertarian women in real life? Yeah, like, so, yeah, I mean, like, you're not going to find libertarian women. But if you are a hardcore libertarian, I will say it's not just that white, weird, autistic, like there's a special connection that white, weird, autistic dudes that have some level of financial success do pretty well with like Asians. Right, like they do pretty well with Asians. And I think the reason they do well with Asians is the culture of a lot of like Chinese especially. Not South Korea, right? Like no bueno there. And not really Japanese, but like they do like Chinese people. You get some passport bro behavior. They tend to be a little bit more traditional, but mostly the tiger mom type A personality people tend to do well with the kind of autistic-y white people. But again, you have to have money, and you have to be very, very careful because many of those girls just want an excuse to get to America, and then, you know, and then very quickly divorce you type shit. Type A or type A? Hey, right. So like, I do think you will find a little bit more relative success if you have your shit together with Asians, and they don't need to be like over there. I'm black, so I'm screwed. I would say black male libertarians have it the worst in terms of finding women. And that's because the type of women in your own race that would date a libertarian like white guys. Right? Like the type of black women that are like high IQ, conservative minded, but like fiscally conservative and maybe like somewhat socially open. They hate being at the cookout, you know, and they tend to date white guys. What about Singaporean women? Singapore is like super kind of is a mishmash of a lot of shit. I don't know. You will not change her. He will pussify you. Sure thing, buddy. Bad genetics. Sounds like somebody's... Dude, hold on, pause. Did we figure it out, boys? We know Slope is Dope is an incel, right? We know that, like, nobody can stand to be around him. But this specific ire for Asians, I think Slope is Dope might be the Hafu product. I think Slope is Dope's a Hafu. He's the half Asian, half white guy. Instead of that, the hot Hafu girl that gets born, it's like the ugly, didn't quite work out mixed breed of like a white American soldier that got stationed in like Seoul, Korea, or in like Okinawa or something, and brought back an Asian wife and had like a half Asian baby. Now we understand his racial hatred. It's hatred of himself and his half Asian side, because all the girls laugh at him and call him a little dick boy. And it's mostly just because he's a shitty self-hating Hafu. Honestly, any woman who's not a brain-dead leftist is better than nothing. I mean, look, good luck. I don't know what to tell you. It depends on your age group. There's exceptions to every rule, Chris. Yes. Yeah, that's how that works. We're making fun of you because you're an obviously dysgenic, self-hating retard. Nobody knows what fucking race you are. I'm making jokes at your expense because you are a shitty person. And that is part of what we do here, is you come in and you troll and you act like a shitty person the entire stream, but instead of getting kicked out, you're fairly okay at following TOS, and then we make fun of you. That is the role that you play here. If you would like to not be made fun of any longer, try being less shitty of a person. That's how that works. You entertain me, Goy. Most women don't listen. All right. So here we go. Here's my most recent post about dating sites. Here's how I feel about dating sites. Here you go, boys. Let me see if I can find it. I might tweet too much. Here we go. There you go. All women on dating apps are hoes. You are not looking for love. You are looking for situationships with the unavailable top 10% of men or hookups. You are worthless. If you are a man on dating apps, you're either a cad ruining women for your pleasure or a weak, desperate fool. Where's the lie, boys? Get off of dating apps. Get off of them. There, if you are a guy and you are on a dating app, it is only one of two things. Either you are that top 10% Chad and you're just trying to fuck girls knowing that like it's not healthy for you or society, but in the moment you're just getting pussy everywhere. You're postponing your life and your ability to have anything meaningful in your life because you have Peter Pan syndrome, because there's so much available pussy that you can't actually accomplish anything meaningful in a relationship. Or you're a pathetic loser that can't go out into the real world and talk to people, and you're hoping to find some magical thing that's almost certainly not ever going to happen on these websites, and then you pay money to try and like make shit going on. Take dating advice from a divorcee dating down maxer. I will, sir. I take no issue with the first half of that, but I do not date down. As for the girls, it's all hoe shit. Every single person on those websites, it's hoe shit. Some of them are deluding themselves into thinking that it's not hoe shit. They're thinking they're going to find love, but all they're doing is going through a fucking, an algorithmically based, fucking swipe slot machine of cock, constantly creating higher and higher standards that don't match any reality, because they can go on dates with dudes that want to do everything they can to fuck them, but not doing anything meaningful. They're not actually looking for love. If they were looking for love, they'd be dropping the handkerchief with some of their coworkers or at places where there are other men that are looking for women, where they showcase their values. Do I just put? I think you can. You should be able to post a link. Is the link block? Is YouTube blocking all links for you guys as well? Man, gentlemen, try and post a link in chat so I can figure out what's going on. Damn, I pissed off some people about the dating apps. We were at 22 viewers and then it immediately dropped down to 15. A couple of you boys got butt hurt. A couple of you boys. You can't post links. I'm seeing if anybody else can post links. More likely to find a partner on Twitter than any dating app? Dude, I've seen people say that they've found love on Twitter or whatever. But like Twitter's algorithm, it didn't come up as a link. Brother, what does that mean? But I've never like seen anybody in the wild that found love on Twitter. Okay, so YouTube is doing something on its back end that won't allow me to post links in chat. Because I don't have anything in my settings that blocks them. And I also am not blocking them with my CloudBot. And I know in the past, people would post links and then it would immediately get deleted. And then Streamlabs would come in with a message saying like, don't post links. So this is something on YouTube's end that's not letting me post links. I don't know if I've been like shadow banned in some way or something, or they're worried about my stream being a naughty stream. But yeah, just like throw it in media recommendations or something in the Discord. Or DM me over Discord. Man, Gent, what is this? I was hoping you guys would have like some of your own content that you wanted to share. Because I know that's what Luca's doing. But we'll see. Hold on.
When you got the whole team helping, no EBT.
Bro, you got the toddler black child running away, stealing food, and she's stealing a banana. Like of all the like look, there's so many things going on here, right? Like there's the fact that EBT should be abolished anyways. There's the fact that people abuse it to get, way more than what it is. People getting thousands of dollars because, young men are slaves to corporations and corporate power and government power designed to funnel wealth to women to destroy families, which works out in the best interests of the corporations and the powerful elite. And so the entire system is both not really pragmatic, but also just morally evil and reprehensible in so many ways. And then you have black people that when the government shuts down are going to steal. Then you have this black person filming their family stealing. It's a family event. But on top of all of that, the cherry on top that makes this almost question if it's real or not, almost makes me feel like it's AI, is in the caboose of your theft from Walmart or wherever. You have your toddler running, stealing food, giggling, and in her hands is a banana, as if to say black people are just monkeys. This...
Drop the paper! Drop the door! Open the door!
So you got the...
I'm just curious if Grok can find like the video posted somewhere else or something. You said there was kind of an Andrew Yang argument for UBI, no? Hold on one second. All right, so they haven't found the video posted anywhere, like it's AI or anything. Like, so far right now, Grok is assuming it's real. Jesus Christ. Wait, what happened? Hold on. It didn't do a scene transition there for a second. That was weird. God, that's so fucked. What do you mean? Can you clarify, Saint Misfit, more of what you mean? You're saying there is a like what specifically do you like? I know Andrew Yang's argument for UBI, the freedom dividend, but like what specifically are you asking? Yeah, what was the libertarian justification for that? Well, so no, okay, I don't know that there's a libertarian justification for UBI, right? I mean, obviously Milton Friedman and other small L libertarians. I got text. Let me check, make sure it's not Borden. Hold on, it's my dad in a group chat. All right, sorry, I'm back. So as far as UBI is concerned, like small L libertarians like the concept of UBI. I think it's a garbage idea, but the argument for the freedom dividend is that the freedom dividend would have given people the option to either take $1,000 a month or be on welfare programs. And so in theory, you know, what would happen is individuals that were like, in theory, this would be a means of phasing out welfare where it is dependent upon how much you make, applying for jobs, all of these paperwork, and it would get rid of government jobs, right? And that are like useless, that are just taking up resources to pay extra people to determine fraud, to determine, you know, like fill out all this paperwork, etc. So in theory, it's kind of good in that regard. And the idea is that it would be easier to phase out welfare eventually, right? Because it would get rid of those government agencies that are attempting to protect their jobs, which is like part of the process of phasing it out, which would be good. And the other thing is that it would return a little bit more to market principles, because there wouldn't be red tape and things that benefit large corporations but hurt mom and pop stores, right? So this would balance that power a little bit, ever so slightly, and allow people to just spend the money on whatever the fuck they wanted to spend the money on, and then not have like any room to bitch or anything. So all of those things are good in theory. The problem is that I do not trust a new wealth redistribution program that doesn't firmly supplant the old ones to not just be an extra fucking thing that steals money from people that are productive and gives it to people that are unproductive. My other it needs to be like I am not supporting a UBI unless that UBI unequivocally destroys all of those other systems, right? Like it needs to be, we're done with Social Security, we're done with food stamps, we're done with TANF, we're done with housing assistance, we're done with all of that shit. Here's $2,000 a month. Everybody gets $2,000 a month. I'd be okay with that, right? Like I would be okay with a wealth redistribution system that is a flat redistribution system insofar as it gets rid of all of the other shit, because it would balance the power between corporations and smaller businesses, and it would get rid of government jobs that are unnecessary. Thus, we'd have less wasteful spending. It would return things to market principles to a certain degree, right? It would come with a lot of unintended consequences, for sure. I just think that it would be a better system than our current welfare system. But I don't support the freedom dividend or UBI when it is presented as a choice between governments. Because what we see then is we're going to see a bunch of poor people that aren't on government assistance just take some government assistance. We're going to see a slowdown of the economy, and then we're going to see welfare queens and the like that get $4,000 a month on EBT not use those programs and continue using those programs. So it would just be more of the same shit that's already destroying our economy and the prosperity of young men. And you would have more Instagram baddie hoes getting an extra $1,000 or $2,000 as a safety net, on top of like trying like to help fund and start their OnlyFans career. Like you'd get a lot of more drug overdoses at the beginning of the month because they got their freedom dividend check and now they can spend it on whatever they want. So they spend it on heroin and then they OD on fentanyl, right? Like there's a lot of unintended bad consequences of welfare in general. And the UBI would come with kind of some of its own unintended consequences that would disrupt the market and cause problems. But if it gets rid of all of the other things, and it's cheaper, and it's less government jobs, and it's less likely to benefit large corporations versus benefit the market, like benefit companies that sell bullshit as a whole, I would be willing to move further to that. Is nobody sending links? Where's the content? Yeah, nobody's sending links because the links, YouTube is blocking them from coming forward, and I can't do anything. You have to post it in media recommendations in the stream. But here in a little bit, I mean, in like 5 minutes, we're gonna watch Luca Brasi had a video and he was curious what my opinion is, so we're gonna react to it live. I liked Andrew Yang a lot. Yeah, I mean, he's just another socialist, but I mean, he's like an Asian socialist, right? Like he's a socialist, but he's like way more concerned with efficiency of the system than the white socialists that are like, I will buy votes. And Asian socialists are like, I will buy votes, but I want to make sure that I do it in the most efficient way possible. Right? Like, that's the difference between Andrew Yang and your typical Democrat. Yeah, efficient socialism. Efficient socialism is a contradiction, right? They just happen to try and be more efficient. Like, there is no such thing as efficient socialism. There's socialism that's more efficient than other socialist systems that are less worried about its efficiency. That's it. What is he saying now? What is he saying? Hey, I'm ready to come in whenever you're ready. Yeah, well, let's hop in, bitch. All right, let me change my video capture device and do this bad boy. So many programs, so many things. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. All right, Luca, I'm in the live stream. Do I gotta DM this guy? Finally a good time. Yeah, dude. What do you mean finally a good time? We're just having fun. It's a bit of an impromptu stream just to see what you guys are doing. Oh, fucking Saint Misfit. I saw you put something else in there. You would ask me a question if Andrew's argument of like force, which I haven't seen it enough to know whether or not it's like his argument is just Carl Schmitt's arguments. And like I guess I would ask you for like a more pointed question, because like on the surface it seems like they're the same argument to me. I don't really see anything. I mean, like, obviously the force doctrine that Carl Schmitt is putting forward is like, you know, just war theory and why the state needs to have a monopoly on power in order to enforce its will, etc. But like, was there like a specific thing that you, I mean, like, is that just what you're asking? Is that it's just like a rehashing of Carl Schmitt's arguments? Like, what specifically were you asking? Tim Pool is pontificating snap riots could give Donald J. Trump an excuse to use the insurrection. Now he's been repeating sovereign is he who decides on the exception. Thought that'd be a good segue. Segue to what? What do you mean? I mean, like, Tim Pool's probably right. Doesn't mean he's morally right there, right? He's probably right that, like, you know, Donald Trump might use riots as, I mean, like, you played the game of like insurrection is the greatest evil thing to ever exist type shit. So like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's one of the reasons why I think Trump is such a bad president. Because like people are like, yes, we need that power to stop them. And it's like, well, you know, that power is going to be used against you, you fucking retards. Dude, Luca, what are you doing? Oh, welcome to the Discord, I guess, 14th Angel. Trump will help the acceleration to Ancapistan. I mean, maybe. He's trying to join the live stream instead of the live stream waiting room. Fuck. Now who's a boomer? Fuck all of you guys. Who's the boomer now, motherfucker? You there? Can you hear me?
So, I'm audible.
Those were noises I heard, but yeah, I hear you.
Good. I think so.
What are my thoughts on Mentis Wave? I'm cool with Mentis Wave. I mean, Mentis Wave shows up in chat sometimes and hangs out. I've tried to talk to him, but I don't know if he's camera shy or if he's just not like really a live streamer, but like I stopped trying to get him to come on. Because he'll be like, yeah, maybe or something, and then like he won't. And it seems like he's like that with most people that live stream. But I mean, he makes good content. I think it's good content for like normies to kind of like begin to understand, you know, thinking about things from an Austrian perspective, maybe. Like a conservative Austrian perspective is like a very good introduction for a lot of people. But I mean, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. What's up with you, brother?
Nothing much. Should I put my video on, or is this okay?
I mean, if you don't want to put your video on, then you don't have to. But you know, it makes things easier for the audience.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure out how do yeah, dude. Why would you want to hide that beautiful mane? It's not hair at that point. It's a mane. Where are you streaming from? Are you in a basement right now? Breaking up? All right, video might not work for you because it doesn't seem like your connection's that good. Where's the video?
Let me try my other internet.
Your other internet?
Mm-hmm. This one works. If it doesn't, then I'll have to shut off the video.
Alright, hold on. Let me figure out how I want to stream this. I think we'll bring this over here. Bring this up real quick.
Let's see. Am I visible? Like
yeah, you're visible. Yeah. Just give me just a second to
okay.
I gotta switch some things. We're gonna
Why am I not visible to myself?
I'm gonna do this.
I got a
go. There we go. That ought to work.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
all right, so you had reached out to me and you what?
Yep. Yeah, nothing. I'm just was talking to myself. Yep.
Yeah. You're still lagging a little bit.
No,
your quality's getting a little better. We'll get there. All right, so you had you'd reached out to me and you were like, "Hey man, what do you think about this video?" And I was like, I was gonna watch it because it's only 10 minutes, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, you know, it's like let's talk about it sometime. And I was like, I figured it'd be more fun or interesting just to kind of get the reaction to the video live and just like while you're here, you know, give some pointers on, you know, maybe like how you made the video or what the arguments are in the video, and then give you like, especially if there's like parts of the video that like I'm like, ooh, that's wrong, and then you could be like, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like this or whatever. So I think it should be like a fun thing for everyone not knowing. Can I post shit in? Let's see if I can post. because you guys can't post links. Can I fucking post links? Okay, I can post links. Has everyone else seen the links that
By
I
the
just
way,
posted?
yep. What do you want me to do? Switch more lights on, or this like low light
It's fine, brother.
environment good?
You're not like a streamer right now, so it's not like super expected that you
Mm.
All right, I'm going to share this with you, and then show. Man, how do I get it to where it doesn't show this? I don't remember how to do that. No, that's not how to do it.
I love Discord, but sometimes it's just, you know.
Dude, I mean, there isn't a good program that does all of them well. I think I'm actually just going to go back to doing it this way. I think we'll just do it that way. I love like Discord does some things well. Discord needs a fucking chroma key in it so that like I don't have to run OBS to run my green screen. Discord, Discord has some issues for sure, right? But like, but StreamYard sucks too. Like StreamYard's like causes all kinds of problems with me or whatever. But anyways, do you just want to go into this raw? I have no idea what this is about other than it showed Charlie Kirk in the thumb title and said, "This is the solution to political violence." All right, let me give my initial thought. What is the solution to political violence? To abolish the presumed monopoly on violence. There you go. There's the solution.
I mean,
it's going to take a while.
That's fun. Yeah.
But in one sentence, that is the solution, right? Let's fucking go, dude. Holy crap, Luca, you look like a Baki character. You kind of do, dude. You kind of do, man. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Time to make a new platform that hits all the marks, and then we can use the funds to spread philosophy to those asleep. Yeah, go ahead, try. It's fucking try to be a new tech startup. Go ahead, boys. You and a billion other people are doing that right now. To be fair, most of them are just flying out 19-year-old Asian girls and giving them six-figure salaries to do absolutely nothing. So maybe you'll do a better job than most, but all right, let's get into this. Are you sharing the screen? Can you see like what I'm watching? So that way you know, like kind of like I'm not doing a watch together, but it's shared in the.
I can't see the screen. And let me see. No, I just see you. That's pretty much like I just see you.
Well, I'm sharing screen through Discord, so you should be able to. You should be able to see the screen share I'm doing. Let me redo it again, I guess. It should pop up.
I see.
Okay,
I
cool.
briefly also saw my.
What's that? You're a little hard to understand. The microphone quality is a little rough.
Yeah, this is the cheapest microphone I could buy.
The cheapest microphone you can buy, dude. Hold on, before you even get into this, my mom calls me, right? Like when she leaves for work, and she's like, I'm like, Mom, I can't understand you. Can you get off of the headset? And she's like, everything I buy, the technology, it's just not that good. Blah blah, like nothing. She's like, I fuck it all up. I'm like, Mom, you have an iPhone and you buy knockoff fucking gas station Bluetooth headset, and then a month later it doesn't work, and you're like blaming your aura or something for fucking up technology when it's just like, no, Mom, you're just buying cheap shit, and cheap shit doesn't work.
Yeah, basically.
The American dream.
I'm saving up for a better one though.
Someone said the American dream is to buy a house in Japan, and I've never agreed with the statement more. It kind of is.
Have you seen Japanese taxes though? Like there's a friend of mine from college who's moving to Japan for some tech work, and like the taxes are like brutal, you know?
The taxes are basically brutal. As much as we are taxed a majority of our wealth and income here in the United States, most first world countries, almost everywhere, the taxes are astronomically worse than they are here.
Yep. I mean, it's there's some elements of like the old American system left over, like just in the population, right? Like the US population is just overall more libertarian than everywhere else.
Yeah, even our socialist Democrats are like, half of them are not progressive enough to want like socialized medicine or anything. But anyways, let's get into this and let's see what your arguments are.
We live in a world where political violence is becoming more prevalent, like the recent assassination of Charlie.
Pause. If you're going to make videos on the internet and you're going to record yourself, get a better microphone. 80 is something I learned with streaming, especially when people hop into a stream or they watch a video. The first thing that will make people leave is poor audio. So like spending all this time on video editing and like making your video look pretty, none of that matters if you have poor audio. Because a lot of people, they don't even care what's on the screen, right? Like they're just they're gonna play it in their car while they're like driving to work or something, right? Like a lot of people don't even give a fuck what's on the screen. It is better to have nothing on the screen with good audio than to have a really well edited video with poor audio. Just throwing that out there.
A world where political violence is becoming more prevalent, like the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk. We also see increasingly divided and radicalizing trends in politics. Moderate politics is increasingly becoming more and more a thing of the past, and the supporters of all political movements are demanding more radical positions from their representatives.
I don't know how I feel about... I feel that you're speaking to the normies, and I kind of like that. But the libertarian objectivist in me is so triggered by the concept of like moderate positions. It's like, it's not a moderate position that you steal half of my wealth so that you can bomb people in other countries. Like to me that like it's only moderate in the sense of what the normies view the Overton window as, But I get where you're going.
But there's also the aesthetic of moderation, right? Like there's the, like, oh, but we're being reasonable here. Like that's quickly fading in favor of, let's say, more, radical aesthetics.
Yeah, I saw this video that Kamala Harris had put out where she was arguing. What?
Did I freeze?
Nope. Can you hear me? Oh my God, this poor guy.
What happened?
Can you hear me? Are we back? Luca. Leave and come back if you need to. Hold on, let me DM him. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yes. Just gonna shit your audio, but I'm back.
All right, there you go. All right, yeah, I saw this thing from Kamala Harris being like, we need to lower the voting age to 16, right? And it's funny to me because set aside all of the arguments of why that's stupid, right? Even from like a pragmatic perspective of like, set aside the argument of like the concept of rights and, an 18-year-old can die in war, but but all these other things, like what is an adult or any of that stuff, right? Like I get their arguments for critical engagement and all this, but what I find the most funny about Democrats shilling for like lowering the voting age to 16 is that they're so in their isolated echo chamber, their gated communities, their ivory tower, that they think if they lower the voting age to 16, what they're going to get is more political power for the liberal elite. And it's so obvious to me, having engaged with politically aware 16-year-olds, that what you're going to get is females voting for Zoran Mamdani and communists that are going to be against the liberal elite, and you're going to get males that are voting for Nick Fuentes and like out and about fascists. It's like you're not like the liberal Democrats are not going to gain fucking power if you let 16 and 17-year-olds vote. Okay. Like you're going to be replaced by communists, and the right is going to be more quote unquote far right. It's just such a dumb idea, but I find it so funny that
Exactly.
they don't know that.
You know, mhm. Yeah, actually, that's what I'm referring to as like further radicalization here, in the sense that like you don't see like the milquetoast liberal milquetoast conservative politics of world nowadays. Like people,
Mm-mm.
like especially young people, they're moving further and further. Like either to like they're move, for example, uh, classical liberalism is slow. Like it's not really a thing anymore. Like in the sense that like most people who used to call themselves classical liberals are ANCAPs now, right? So
Right,
in the
right,
sense,
right. Like
and
even in our own movement, we've seen
yeah,
classical liberals, right? And what they have done is they've reframed themselves as classical liberals, and of that small group that is offshot, I guess, would be the right. I don't know how to say that.
mhm,
From the libertarian movement,
yeah,
they've separated
mhm,
themselves from the libertarian movement and become, supposedly pro-capitalist Democrats, right? Which is like such an oxymoron. And everybody else that is like keeping the
that's what we.
moniker of libertarian is going objectivist and ANCAP. Or maybe they're blending Groyper shit in this weird, retarded, contradictory shit where they're like racist monarchists, right? But all of them have gone more radical in some way.
They'll get it. Yep. And that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like you can't stay there. Like back in the day when classical liberalism used to be the radical thing, like that, you know, like there's a very different thing. Someone who used to be a classical liberal pre Rothbard and Rand versus someone who is now. Like back then, they were as radical as they could get. Right now,
yeah.
they're just being sissies. You know.
Well, I think there is this really interesting section of mostly grifters, right? Like kind of like the not so erudites of the world, right? Where they're still hanging, they're pretending to hang on to the center, right? But everything that they do is an
Yep.
excuse for the left and for going further left. So even the people that are pretending to be centrists are just excusing it. You still see a little bit of it on the right, right? Like you still see a little bit of like Steven Crowders or people like that, right? Um, but all they're doing is just kind of they're grifting as like trying to be reasonable as they suck MAGA's dick, which is MAGA is becoming the moderate position, and it's moderate in the sense that it's becoming more socialist and populist. It's not moderate because it's like a blend of the center to try and get people to speak together. It's moderate in that they're just moving to the left economically because they're willing to play all the same economic games that the left has been playing for 30 or 40 years. And instead of being the Republicans that were like, okay, let's lower taxes, let's calm down, they're like, let's fucking do tariffs and let's fucking get rid of all the Browns, right? Like they're not actually, they're becoming more radical in their movement towards the left, and they're pretending to be moderate, but every single where that we see, there is no moderate position. Even the ones that kind of look moderate, once you really dig into it, you realize that they're just becoming more socialist, more willing to use power, and more willing to kind of fire up for their base. Reactionary national
Exactly. And
socialism.
the
I mean,
pressure is
it's kind
coming from the base. You know.
of the pressure's coming
The
from both. You
pressure is
said,
coming from the base, right? Like I'm saying, the pressure is coming from the base of their power. Like it's not like they want. Like a lot of these politicians don't want to become radicals, but if they don't, they don't get elected anymore. In the sense that like the old reasonable Republican types, they just are getting voted out for the Trump people, right? Like they just
right?
don't exist anymore. And like even like Rand Paul was the most radical person in 2012, like when he got elected. Like now Rand Paul is being lambasted as this, like a
Leftist.
Democrat or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
see JD Vance talking shit on like Thomas Massey is like he's not with us on anything important. He votes with the Democrats every time. And it's like, well, his voting record shows that he votes with the right wing 90% of the time. He just doesn't vote for more spending or for foreign aid.
Yep.
And this you see the same thing with the
JD Vance is
grifters
a
in the
really
center, right? Like
bad.
Steven Crowder. Like Steven Crowder, he did a fucking like barbershop video talking to black people about black fatigue. And it's like, dude, it's so obvious that you are captured by your audience. This isn't you. This is just what you are is just whatever gets you clicks and views. Like, you're just a fucking, like any other politician, you're just a slimy, amorphous, whatever I think will continue to get me money and views. As much as like I hard disagree with people like Andrew Wilson, for example, or Jim Bob or Jay Dyer. I hate like I have a genuine ire for Jay Dyer, and in many ways Jim Bob, that I don't really necessarily have for Andrew. I respect at the very least that they're doing what they think is right. You know what I mean? Like, they're fighting for what it is that they believe, right? You know, like I hate the pretend centrists as we shift towards radicalism even more, because you're watching them become radical just to follow where the money is.
Yeah.
All right, I'll continue.
Exactly.
We got into the weeds 20 seconds in.
Uh-huh.
No, I'll let you have
Yeah,
it's your content. I'll let you say the final word before we go, but
Yeah, I was just simply saying that, the politicians, like, they're just the temperature of like what people actually want and feel, right? So like someone like JD Vance wouldn't have been like considered a Republican, let's say 20 years ago, but now he is the vice president. So like something has changed within the party, right? Like,
right.
And like my hypothesis is simply that, like the left wing became basically like identitarians for everyone except white people. So the right wing was like, yeah, we'll take up the vacuum. We'll become identitarians for the white people. And so like, who's left over? Like individualists are left over. People who are not in any like collective, like who don't subscribe to this collectivism, right? So like,
yeah, I mean, I kind of view it as like a Lord of the Rings analogy, right? And it's like the right wing has gained control of the Ring of Power, but they refuse to throw it into the fires of Mount Doom. It's like, okay, well, they're the steward of Gondor, saying this ring must come to us. We have like, this power has been used against us for so long, and we're losing this battle. This power needs to come to us, instead of realizing that like that power being able to be used against people is the problem itself, and that you don't solve it by taking the Ring of Power. You just become corrupted by it, make everything worse.
And now when like the right wing bubble pops and the left wing is ascendant again, like hell's coming the other way then. And like then you kill each other all the time, like basically 4 years of lefties killing righties killing lefties, and like, yeah.
Sorry,
The-
Slope
like
in
the-
chat says Jay Dyer, quote, "We are the Jews now." Like, that's such a layered anti-Semitic joke, but it's so fucking funny. So you guys wonder why I keep trolls in chat, because they say shit that's so good. You need them. You can't make an echo chamber, guys.
Intelligence to make that joke.
What's that?
Yeah, it takes intelligence to make.
Yeah, like you have to be you have to be smart and retarded at the same time to get that joke. Oh fuck, that's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna play this video, man.
From their representatives. Now, you would ask yourselves naturally, why is all this happening? Why does it seem that the world is getting crazier and crazier as time passes? Well, today we will learn about the answer to that very important question. And the answer is to be found in a theory called the dim hypothesis, given by the philosopher Leonard Peikoff.
Okay.
DIM is an acronym which stands for disintegration, integration, misintegration. And no, I'm not talking about mathematics here. Integration, as Leonard Peikoff uses it, refers to an active process that a human mind partakes in to make sense of a whole set of facts that it is presented with on a daily basis. It is the putting together of those facts, integrating them into a coherent whole through a process of abstraction. In philosophy, then, there can be three positions or modes of integration. One, disintegration.
Yeah, this is a I like this. I like where you're going with this for the normie, right? To explain this position. Yeah, I think this is a good idea. I'm just going to keep going, though.
Disintegration is the refusal to connect facts into any meaningful whole. It is the collapse into...
What's that?
If you just pause for just a minute. Pause for just a minute and like start from 10 seconds ago. But like my purpose with this is basically to, like get the unsuspecting person into our kind of philosophy. So, like that's the kind of videos I'll make. Like I'll make like this video has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is just an example, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
posted it when
Yeah, no, I mean it's
it's a philosophy video.
Yeah, it's just a video on like what is that is yeah, we do a little trolling here. Bro, what the fuck am I looking at? What do you got to be a little more specific, man. All right, let's go.
In philosophy, then, there can be three positions or modes of integration. 1. Disintegration. Disintegration is the refusal to connect facts into any meaningful whole. It is the collapse into a chaos of unrelated concretes. This is the mindset of skepticism, nihilism, and postmodernism. The philosopher best representative of this mode of thinking is Immanuel Kant. Number
You got to get in you got to shit on Immanuel Kant. It's not a true objectivist video unless at some point you're like, and don't forget, we fucking hate Kant. Like there's like I don't think I've ever seen a single objectivist video that doesn't have like a diss at Immanuel Kant or at a minimum, right? Special shout out to, and this is why Hegel is full of shit. Hegel's number 2 though, right? Because the ire and hatred has to be Kant, okay? But every now and then you'll see, like you won't see a Kant, you'll see Hegel, specifically if they're talking about dialectics, right? If the video is not about dialectical thinking, right? They have to throw in by the way, Kant is a piece of shit. But yeah, I mean, like, so this is, to put it in simpler terms, maybe, right? This is the thought, disintegration of, the maintenance of disintegration. Disintegration's healthy, right? Like I think disintegration can be healthy or is a natural part of thinking. When you come into contact with cognitive dissonance, right? Like to put it in a term people would more commonly be aware of, right? It's like the problem is when you have a philosophy that maintains contradiction as true. Right, like that's where you get into postmodernism. That's where you get into Hegelianism, or like Kantianism, where we begin to get. Oh, go ahead. Right, but yeah.
So, like in that sense, also like disintegration can be true on some. Let's say if you have a problem, like if you encounter a bad concept, you should disintegrate that. But like what Kant did basically in his philosophy was like in essence he had two things. He critiqued pure reason, so like and applied reason. So basically, he said that hey, the thing that you do in your mind, like pure reason, and the thing that you do in reality, experiment, applied reason, yeah, they're both full of shit. So like after Kant, basically you have philosophy and science and everything, which is just blind, right? Like you can't trust your senses and you can't trust your mind. So what do you trust? You can't trust anything. So over time, then you basically open the door to these bad actors and shitty philosophies, like Hegel, Marx, Foucault, all these like horrible people, right?
I want to be as fair as I can to Kant, right? So when you read Critique of Pure Reason, I think you are correct in practice, but not necessarily in what he posits, right? Like I agree that it doesn't matter what he claims if the underlying issue then becomes destructive to philosophy and science throughout the world. But to be fair, he breaks it down and then tries to build like the concept of like the noumena, right? Like the concept of like what like how you can think and engage in the world in a functionalist perspective. It's all bullshit because he denies pure reason, right? In Critique of Pure Reason. But I do want to be fair and just say that Kant isn't positing that you can't trust or know anything ever, right? Like that's not his claim, but it is kind of his claim in practice.
In the sense that the first generation of Kantians, they just throw the entire Numina phenomena thing out, and they just become skeptics. They just say that, well, Kant proved that we can't know anything, and anything he built on faith, so we can just disregard faith.
Right.
It's like,
which the most important,
like even though Kant was not literally a skeptic.
Well, no, I think one of the biggest problems we have in communicating just how serious this is that if I call you illogical, it is the greatest insult that could ever be levied against a person. And yet it is treated as like not really that big of a deal. Right? If I say that you are no longer engaged in reality, you are no longer engaged in reason, what you are saying is contradictory or illogical. People kind of don't care. Right? But like if I say you're stupid, stupid is leagues under the sea compared to the insult of what you are saying is illogical or what you are, who you are illogical. And so like I feel like we play this weird game in like the ANCAP objectivist kind of space of like constantly trying to find 10 different ways to just describe that you're not engaged in reason thinking, because none of it ever really clicks with people because they have been brought up to they genuinely the majority of people have been raised and indoctrinated and socialized into a concept that truth is relative and that contradictions can be true. And like I don't know the right answer to that problem, right? Like I know that like we're all trying to find different ways to come at that problem and showcase it, but I don't know how you solve that problem. It's just kind of an observation.
Yep. I think we're doing the best that we can, right? Like try to convince as many people, and I think these things take a very long time. Uh, like previously, every switch in philosophy has taken like at least a century, right? So like maybe now the internet is there, like ideas are spreading faster than ever before, right? So it might take just let's say half a century this time around. But let's say like
I think the truth might actually be the opposite. I think the spread of ideas, I think that because I think there's so much noise. And so because of that, like I want to think that the spread of ideas being more facilitated by the internet means that like paradigm shifts in philosophy would occur at a higher rate. But I think instead what we have is so much noise and so many different ideas that it actually becomes more difficult, right? Like because, before philosophy was not in the realm of the everyday man. Sure, everyone engages in philosophy, but in deciding what is, like in deciding these things, we were talking about a elite group of people that were already in direct communication with each other, right? They were already like every philosophy contemporary that was worth their salt was already reading, writing, translating everything into Latin so that everybody could read it, and then engaging in argumentation with other philosophers in Latin. And so someone comes up with a new concept or a new idea, and you're right, it takes a century before everyone kind of gets on board. But now I worry that what we have instead is so many different philosophers and so many different people that are anti-philosophers that are kind of just screaming into a void, trying to sway public perception of idiots. So so maybe it'll go quicker, but I also could very well see that it can take much, much longer to overturn bad philosophy that's been kind of inculcated into the masses, because everything that is new is competing with 100 different bad ideas. Luca's internet is hilarious.
It might be that, like in the sense that there is noise, but is it better now?
Yeah, you catch up. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? You get behind and then you catch up.
Give me 1 second. And
once you destroy tag, a Christ Cux has nothing on you. Oh, I do love that the Evo cap has showed back up to just spurg his nonsense and not respond to anybody's arguments, because he never will. Instead, he'll just continuously make more and more claims. It's pretty fucking funny whenever he shows up. Morality is a philosophical topic. I kind of want to watch the video. Like, what the fuck?
Can you hear me?
You back?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my video off for a bit just so that, I mean, they're watching the video, so it doesn't really matter for now
Yeah.
anyway. I'll put it on.
Yeah, it'll probably make the stream go a little
I'll put it
smoother if
on
you
in
cut
the end.
video off. We miss your hair, okay? We will miss your hair, Luca, but it's probably for the best. All right, let's go. Let's continue.
2. Integration. Integration is the proper method of reasoning, uniting facts by their essentials, guided by logic, to achieve a non-contradictory whole. It is the method of science, of Aristotelian thought, of the Enlightenment, of America's founding fathers. The philosopher most representative of this mode of thinking is Aristotle. 3. Misintegration. Misintegration is the opposite error, forcing false or mystical connections upon reality, merging facts into a false totality. This is the method of religion, of collectivism, of Hegel, Marx, and
Yeah, you had to throw in Hegel too. Boys, he didn't just throw Kant under the bus; he threw Hegel under the bus too. This is a de facto objectivist video. All right, I will now like the video. I do worry about your the bait and switch method is kind of funny, and maybe it works because this is only a 9-minute video, but I do think you have to be careful about bait and switch videos on your channel, because a large part of YouTube's algorithm, specifically on YouTube, is meaningful watch duration, right? And so if your video does a bait and switch and people don't like it, and so they leave the video, then what'll happen is YouTube will say, "Oh, well, this is a shitty video because people didn't stay." And the main reason is economic, right? Because whenever people click off of a video without the video finishing, they're far more likely to close YouTube in general. They're like, "Oh, I got shit to do." Like when they get like halfway through a video and then they leave, that is the moment where they go off platform to like go do the dishes or go do something else. And that means YouTube loses money. Okay, so you have to be careful about doing bait and switch videos, because you might cause people to watch the first 2 or 3 minutes of your video and then they leave the video because it's not what they wanted, and then they might leave the platform, and then YouTube will kill your fucking video in the algorithm. It won't show it to anybody, because if that occurs often enough in your video, then your video is synonymous with, this video makes us lose money.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. Just something to think about when you do the bait and switch videos, is definitely keep them under 10 minutes like you did with this one. And be careful. And do like
I do think that I put a lot on there, you know?
What's that? You do
like
what?
I put too much information in this video. I'm just thinking I should have made this one a 30-minute video and explained everything a little bit more. Like I put too much information in this video, and that's why it comes off as like someone who just doesn't know these things. Like they're gonna be like, well, why is Hegel wrong? Why is Kant wrong? And like I should have explained that a little bit, you know?
Yeah, but here's the other thing with videos. You're correct when it comes to the normie, but also videos like this, where they're relatively short, are also good for people to like bookmark that are already objectivists. And they're trying to remember something, and they'll come back to this video because it'll refresh all their memory.
Yeah, it will be a good video for that. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it depends on who your audience is. If your audience is primarily normies, yeah, you're right. If your audience is primarily people that are already objectivist or objectivist leaning or learning, then it's fine to do these shorter, pack a bunch of information into the video, but don't necessarily make arguments for each thing, but rather just inform or make a lot of claims. They're really good for your own people.
Next one.
All right, let's go. We're saying, howdy, happy Sunday, Saturday.
Every other authoritarian who pretends to offer the big picture while severing it from reality. This mode of thinking is characterized by a large, interconnected, elaborate web of abstract ideas, but no connection of this system of ideas to concrete reality, a castle in the air situation. The philosopher most representative of this mode of thinking is Plato. Till now.
Dude, fucking...
Yeah.
The most subjectivist video ever. He shits on Marx. Whatever. Everyone shits on Marx that isn't retarded. He shits on Kant. He shits on Hegel. and he shits on Plato and the theory of forms bullshit. Let's go. I love it. I like the video.
Now, we have been living in and continue to live in a world moving closer and closer to the D mode, be it the denial of objective truth, positivist legal theory, subjective modern art, modern physics with its denial of certainty, and modern politics with its...
When you're trying to inform, explain a concept before you give the name of a concept. Because it to the learned mind, they go, the D mode, right? Like they're aware of that phrase, right? The better way to do it when you're talking to normies is to say we're moving towards this, also known as the D mode. So just like when you're writing your scripts, remember that normies that are unfamiliar with terms, putting the term first doesn't help them. It confuses them. People that are aware, they already have a concept, right? What you're doing is you're trying to form a concept, describe the form before you name it.
Yep. I think that's what the big flaw of this video is. Like it's good for the people who already know it, but like for the people who don't know it, like they'll get confused very quickly. And I realized this after I made the video, and after I posted it, and like then I watched it, and then I was like, I'm not even most of this. Like this is a in-group video, like this is already objectivist person video.
It depends on the language too, right? So, for example, in Romance languages, you would say a car, a car, bright, shiny red. And so the French mind or the Spanish speaking mind is going to be more familiar with giving a name of a concept and then explaining the concept, because linguistically, that's how they think, that's how they speak. But especially in English, you would never say, it would be really weird to say a car that is bright, shiny, and red. We would just say a bright, shiny red car. Right? So like, not to be postmodern, not to give too much credit to fucking Derrida and fucking, the French postmodernists and in the way that language forms the mind. Right? But there is some truth to that. Right? So if you're speaking in English, it is particularly important to give the adjectives and explain the thing before you name the thing. Unless people are already aware of the thing, and then it puts that thing in their mind, and then they're just getting additional details.
In and continue to live in a world moving closer and closer to the D mode, be it the denial of objective truth, positivist legal theory, subjective modern art, modern physics with its denial of certainty, and modern politics with its disdain for principles in favor of pragmatism. Since the end of the world wars to now, and modern politics with its...
Who's this stock footage baddie right here side-eyeing me from the podium? Where did you find this from? I know. Come on now. Come on. Anyways, continuing on. Sorry, I got a little distracted.
Legal theory, subjective modern art, modern physics with its denial of certainty, and modern politics with its disdain for principles in favor of pragmatism. Since the end of the world wars to now has been a time where nihilism has ruled supreme in philosophy and culture. For the most part, that is coming to an end for two important reasons. One, people cannot live like this forever. This kind of thinking leads to the slow degradation of everything good to nothing. Art, science, rights, truth, all gets degraded and eliminated, not for something greater, but to the altar of the zero, to the supreme god of nothingness. Outside of the few people deeply committed to the cause of nihilism.
This is a problem that objectivists especially suffer from, which is like this, this like, I'm giving this impassioned, emboldened speech that is almost religious in structure, that I feel like if you're trying to talk to normies, you gotta be careful about, right? So like this thing here,
science, rights, truth, all gets degraded and eliminated, not for something greater, but to the altar of the zero, to the
like the supreme god of nothingness, the altar of the zero. I've found that that it isn't effective as we think it is, that it comes off weird to normal people. And it's a thing that I notice objectivists do a lot. And I think I think it comes from that thing I was trying to describe earlier, which is the frustration with trying to get people to see just how bad illogical or anti-rational concepts, which is a contradiction. I get, you know what I mean? Right? Are that they're like constantly trying to vent a new, impassioned, emboldened way to say just how bad it is, but it almost becomes detached from reality because reality is that people don't see it that bad. So it tends to work against us, and I think sometimes you can sprinkle that in, but you got to be careful about not being like so like over the top because you just sound crazy to the normal person.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it sounds weird to a normie, like the altar of zero and to the supreme god of nothingness. It sounds base as fuck if you're an objectivist or a libertarian giving a speech, but it sounds weird in like a informative YouTube video.
I think this is what like Rothbard was not like right about everything that he criticized like the objectivist movement on, but like you could understand where he was coming from in the sense that it can like it's all of this theory like when put to emotional words can seem like very very heavy and like I can see it like it's like if like you or me are listening to this, like if this is a video made by someone else and if I came across it, like me the objectivist, I would really like it, but if I sent it to my normie friend, they'll be like yeah, this sounds like a religion almost.
100%. They'd be like, "This is." I mean, you're talking about sacrificing the good to the altar of zero and the supreme god of nothingness, while having B-roll footage of a man in a mask.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like to normal people, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but it's just a minor critique because why not? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to use what little experience I have to help out the other people that are getting their channels going. This just a like it's not like it's. I'm not saying you're crazy. It's just a point to look at.
Yeah, I know. Actually, like actually, a very normie friend of mine gave me the same advice in the sense that you're coming off too strong. Like you're being too strong here.
Right,
like,
right.
So, yeah.
I do think you could have. I do think you could have expanded just a little bit, right, by taking a direct quote from Kant, or I wouldn't use Hegel because trying to pick apart Hegel will just bring all kinds of crazy people in the chat because everyone on the left pretends that they understand Hegel, and everyone on the right pretends that they understand Hegel, and everyone that says that they understand Hegel doesn't understand Hegel because Hegel doesn't understand himself because none of his shit makes sense because it's fucking word vomit. Right, but like at least Kant or Marx or something, just to give like a quick example of like something that they say that is misintegration, right? That is a false concept or something. Like I think because you are making a lot of claims and you are making arguments from your perspective of the philosophy, but you're not steel manning your opposition's arguments at all, or at the very least straw manning them. You know what I mean? Like.
I'm just
eat
not
glass,
manning
boys.
Them. Like I'm not putting the. Yeah.
Everyone, make a simple syrup and then make a simple syrup and then freeze it in the freezer and walk up to evolutionary capitalism and just break the glass in front of him and chew on it in front of his face.
Supreme god of nothingness. Outside of the few people deeply committed to the cause of nihilism, be it some college philosophy professors or accelerationist psychotic.
$2. There's no such thing as understanding Hegel. True. And what's funny, that gets me more than anything about people that say that they understand Hegel is that it's never like Slavoj Zizek or something, right? Like it's never some like highbrow leftist. It's always like some fucking hot girl on Twitter that's like, reading Hegel again in a coffee shop. It's always somebody that is like a fucking midwit. It's never, I never see that claim from really smart people because really smart people are honest enough to be like, yeah, I don't fucking get that shit. Same thing with Deluge, but like to a lesser degree because he's not as popular.
Also, like giving my third world perspective here, like by the way, pretty much all these Hegelians, Marxists over here in India, they're like just like sons and daughters of like rich people who got rich through nefarious means. right? So like, and yeah, and all of them are
Brother,
like,
it's the same
so
here. What the fuck do you think Hassan Piker is? The most popular person to push this shit is a silver spoon socialist who's a millionaire.
Oh yeah, and I'll give an example in the sense that, like, if you see any Communist Party meetings happening in Delhi, it's going to be the most posh neighborhoods of Delhi, like where where like going there like brings you to the first world. That's like one first world enclave in Delhi, let's say, and like if you're so hell bent on like giving away your wealth, just give it to me, man. Like I'm okay with it, but you know
Well, it's
why
always what we
like
want to do
all
with
these
somebody else's money. It's never what we want to do with our own money. Like I saw some post and it was like, I'm actually proud to have my taxes paid to feed the poor. And it's like, no, you're not, you lying sack of shit. Because if you were and that's what you wanted, you just donate to food banks. Like when I go to the grocery store, right? Across the street, there's these bags, and there's a local food bank. I like the food bank, and they have they're a good food bank, and they have these bags that are $6, and you can go and buy them at the counter for $6, and like and just help out some fucking homeless people. And when winter comes around, sorry for everyone donating, I want you to know that at least some portion of your money does indeed go to me feeling somewhat altruistic or some dumb shit and being like fucking $6, you know what I mean? It's cold out there. I'll give some people some food. Fuck it. Right? Like, and like that's fine. Cause I actually believe in that. And when it gets really cold, what do? My mom and I, we go out, we get a bunch of socks and we give out give out socks to the homeless so they have fresh, clean socks to protect their feet in the winter. And it's hilarious every time because my mother every time will go out and buy a bunch of socks for females, and then she can't find homeless females. And she's like, what's up with all these socks? Where are the homeless females? And I'm like, Mom, they're all men. You have to, and she forgets every year. Every year we do this. We go out and we give out socks to the homeless near Christmas because it's getting fucking cold out there, and we want to make sure they have like good socks to keep their feet warm. And fucking every year we have to go to like some battered women's shelter, and I have to sit in the car while she goes there because men are banned on premise, so she can donate a bunch of socks to them because we have way too many socks for women because it never clicks in her mind that all of the homeless people are dudes. And it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, it's like you would do that. You wouldn't petition for more welfare. You would just give, if you truly believe that, you would just give some of your money to these people. But you don't want to give some of your money. You want Elon Musk to give his money up. That's what you want.
And also, one, there is like a very good joke that I can just make, which I will make, which is that the homeless population and the libertarian community share something in common. They're all men.
Yeah, it's like my audience last time I checked was 97% male, and like every now and then I'll get some like OnlyFans prostitutes alternative account, and they were like, I saw one of your YouTube videos and I was really interested in it. Like you say some really cool ideas, and I'm like, you're a hot girl DMing me out of nowhere, telling me that you like my YouTube videos and you thought they were cool ideas. Sure. Yeah, sure thing, Samantha. Yeah, I really believe you.
Another joke there in the sense that, like, if a hot girl is DMing you and asking you about something like that, either like talking about crypto or complimenting your videos, like block that dude.
Yeah. I usually so I used to talk to them just enough to get them to fucking like talk to me and then give me their OnlyFans link and then just be like, oh, sorry, I don't support pornography because it eats away at the woman's, and just like really give like a long paragraph just shitting on them. And then my algorithm like turned into more OnlyFans girls. And I was like, God damn it. I can't even shit on them. And it's like, I'm talking to some dude that works for her anyways. So it doesn't fucking matter. But then it fucked up my algorithm. And it was like, okay, well, this isn't fun anymore. So now I just block them immediately. All right, let's continue.
Just before we start, like I was talking about the, rich idiot, like, rich sons and daughters of idiots, right? Like these people will like claim to understand Hegel and Marx, but I've never met two Like I've never met two of these people who agree on an interpretation, right? So like out of these 500 million interpretations, please sit down and decide which one is the correct one, and then come to me. Nobody ever understands Hegel. Like that's just a thing because, as you said, Hegel didn't understand Hegel. Like the fucking philosophy is a bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, and it's and you see this even in Marx, right? Like you can't understand Marxism unless you just read fucking Engels. Right? Like if you read everything Marx wrote, you will come away realizing that like he believed all of these contradictory things that make no fucking sense. And at least Engels is like good at hiding that and like giving a concrete philosophy, right? Like if you want to understand Marxism, you can read Engels' Socialism and Scientific and Utopic and like understand what their argument is. It's bad, and but if you just read like all of the writings of Marx, it's very obvious he's just a crazy person. You know, like it's really, really obvious. All right, let's continue.
Few people deeply committed to the cause of nihilism, be it some college philosophy professors or accelerationist psychotics, most people do not tolerate and cannot tolerate the destruction of their values. They desperately search for something else. 2. There has been a revival of Aristotle.
Yeah, you gotta. I think you have to learn to bridge the gap between concepts that normies understand versus concepts spoken from an objectivist perspective, right? So, right. So, like a concept that most people have a beginning of that you can then give an objectivist bent to is searching for meaning, right? Like when you when you say that, normal people are like, yeah, my life lacks meaning, and then you can say why they're failing to gain that meaning and use objectivist philosophy from that perspective. But you got to start where they are. And it seems kind of like you're starting with them kind of already understanding the concepts. You're just kind of like rehashing them. Ariel, it's not altruism. If you value what you receive in return enough to give to those poor people, higher psychic profit, I think is the term from not psychic reward, but same difference. You still gain from those exchanges. By the way, catching up with Atlas Shrugged. There you go, brother. There you go. Atlas Shrugged, great book. Again, if you're not going to read Atlas Shrugged, right, because it's a fucking slog. If you're not going to read it, for the love of God, just go on YouTube and listen to the radio speech. Because everything that you need to get from Atlas Shrugged is in John Galt's radio speech. But Atlas Shrugged gives you a story and a context that really, I think, is necessary to really get it. But, you know, I don't know how much time you have on your hands or how good your willpower is, because it can be a lot.
I just hope that someone at the ARI is rich enough to do this, or we're gonna have to wait to the point that the copyright runs out and like make a manga or a Netflix series out of this already, right? Like imagine how many people that would convert. Like I want that to happen, right?
I'm looking for my audiobook on Audible. Here we go, I found it. So the audiobook is 62 hours and 56 minutes. Okay, it is. And for reference, just like, okay, just for reference, I did it and I've listened to it a couple of times. But for reference, Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings, a famously too long book, is 45 hours and 30 minutes. So so Atlas Shrugged is an entire audiobook longer than The Way of Kings.
They remembered like Ross. I think it was Rothbard or someone else. I don't remember exactly, but let's say I think you're pretty sure that it was Rothbard. I think before the book was launched, he said something along the lines of like what book would take 12 years to write, and like like after it was launched and after he read it, he was like, "How did she finish this in 12 years?" So like
yeah, like it's a It's a bit. It's a slog, but it's a good book. It's just you have to approach the book as a medium of her philosophy and not as a book. If you approach the book purely to read a piece of fiction, you'll hate it. If you approach the book as a medium for an entire world philosophy that is contained, that every bit of that world philosophy is contained within one book. You do not need any other writings by Ayn Rand if you read Atlas Shrugged. You don't need to read Fountainhead. You don't need to read her articles. You don't need to read anything but Atlas Shrugged. And if you read it and understand everything in Atlas Shrugged, you will understand objectivism, period. And so, yeah, you know what I mean? So like, that's kind of how you have to read it. But anyways, it is funny.
But I like the story as well. The story's not bad. You know, I love the story.
Nah, you're getting a little Randroid on me. It's a mid-ass book by itself. Also, someone said, or wait for someone to make an AI movie version. There is a movie version of Atlas Shrugged, by the way. The first one's not that bad. The second and third one are garbage.
Yeah, I don't like the movies. Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
They desperately search for something else. 2. There has been a revival of Aristotle with the philosophy of objectivism given by Ayn Rand, and the I mode of thinking displaced by Kant has made a revival and now stands, at least in its theoretical substance, the superior force among the three. However, the Aristotelian remnant is still numerically small compared to the Kantian and Platonic elements in society. So, Kant is dead, both in technical philosophy.
Yeah, that's a little wordy. Just everything you said there, like, kind of requires to understand that upon first listen as someone who is not an objectivist would require you to have like 115, 120 IQ. Like if you've never really read any objectivism and then you listen to that spiel, if you're a normal IQ person, you're like, what the fuck is he saying? Like, it's just too many new concepts thrown in to like a single sentence for people to be able to understand. Like you gotta, like you've almost cleaned it up a little too much to the point where you're trying to put in too much into one video.
Yeah, like it should have been a 40-minute video, right?
No, it should be 3 videos. It should be 3 10-minute videos. Yeah.
Small compared to the Kantian and Platonic elements in society. So, Kant is dead, both in technical philosophy, by objectivism, and in the psychological response, the fruits of his philosophy illicit in people, and various different groups circle around his corpse to replace their mode of thinking as the dominant one. Let's see who they are in the context of politics.
Like now I'm done with the, like I've speed run the theory till now. Now it's gonna get interesting. Like now I'm proud of things from now on. Now it gets entertaining now.
Right, you're introducing concepts. Now you're like trying to make an argument here.
Yeah.
Various different groups circle around his corpse to replace their mode of thinking as the dominant one. Let's see who they are in the context of politics. We can broadly see the groups in modern politics fall into these 3 categories. 1. The religionists. These are people who want to return to religion and blind faith in the face of Kant's madness. 2. The Marxists or leftists. With some additions, like intersectionality, the overall core of most leftists remains the dialectics of Hegel and Marx, with an entire elaborate but false web of abstractions which defines an entire way of looking at the world. 3. The fascists. These are basically the same as the Marxists, but replace the interests of the nation or the race over those of class. The resulting system is often similar and similarly has an entire theoretical elaborate web of false abstractions.
I mostly agree with you. I think you have to be careful about stating that fascists aren't all. Did you say mostly? Hold on.
Same as the Marxists, but replace the interests of the nation or the race over those of class.
Yeah, like, because I mean, class is still a predominant part of fascism. It evolves into no longer being class-based, but it starts as a class-based discussion in part. It just supplants what it believes to be the class into an identitarian, nationalist, or racial lens, right? So it starts as populism.
We care more about the race, right?
What's that?
And it does care about class, but like its first thing is the race, right?
Well, I think what I think I mean by this is fascism comes from, as far as I can tell, historically speaking, and in today's society with neo-fascism, it starts with leftism gains control in the institutions and makes everything about class, but now everything's kind of about race, etc. And so I think there might be a change in the way that fascism is done now because it's maybe even more so a blend of race and class than it was in the past because of the race-obsessed left, right? Almost like because it is a subversion, right? So maybe it puts in more classism because the left is putting in more racism, right? But I think it starts with the elites, and it is talking about class, and then it slowly gives an identity to those elites that is national or race, right? And then as that occurs, slowly it becomes less and less about class and more about the nation and the race. But I think it's also important to recognize that class is, because I mean it's a mixture, right? Fascism is just as you stated, it is Marxism, it is socialism, right? That takes on and subverts it with new identity-based beliefs and more focuses on, the isolationist nationalist position.
And I think this is where like we as ANCAPs and objectives, like we're able to, see that okay, these are just two different types of leftists with like certain similarities, and like the dissimilarities, like from our perspective, from a distance, like they're almost irrelevant, right? Like in the sense that you're gonna do the same thing and you're saying basically the same thing. But yeah, you're pointing out an important distinction there that can be like fleshed out more.
Right, but if we're worried about fascism rising in its infancy and communicating to normies, you have to meet them where they are and what they see. And it's like they do see the conversations around class. It's just that class morphs into the Jews, and then it becomes about the Jews instead of class. But you're also seeing the way in which the Jews subvert your underbelly class is by bringing in this other thing to supplant the lower class, like migration and immigration and things like that. And then it becomes about the national and racial identity, but it is kind of also talking about class. It's just the solution is the focus on the nation and the race. But the problem that they're in part correctly identifying and in part incorrectly identifying is class-based. I don't know, maybe I'm being nitpicky. It was just kind of like my thought in the moment,
No, you're right. You're right in the sense that, like, first of all, like I'm just gonna say, like I personally love the Jews, man. Like all my heroes are Jewish.
I'm like a
Rand,
hardcore
Rothbard,
critic
all
of
these people are
everything.
Jewish.
You know what I mean? Like because it's like I'm already starting with this will be interesting to watch. Let's check it out. And now I'm like, how can I put this through the crucible to make it even more pure?
Yeah, of course. That's how it should be. And I'm just gonna say that, like, first of all, like, I speak for myself here that I love the Jews. I love like all like 90% of my heroes.
I love
90% of my
some
heroes are Jewish.
Jews. All right. I'm not racist. I have a
mean,
Jewish friend.
And in the sense that, like, it is like fascinating in the sense that 90% of like basically libertarian thought comes from Jewish people. And of course, I think 90% of all intellectual thought in the last 200 years is coming from Jewish people. So like that's why.
Yeah, it's like
mostly,
there's not a lot of
but like it is a very,
like
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Nobel Prizes. All right, let's continue.
Very intellectual people, and like, sure.
These are basically the same as the Marxists, but replace the interests of the nation or the race over those of class. The resulting system is often similar and similarly has an entire theoretical elaborate web of false abstractions. I will link in the description Tick History's video on the origins of National Socialism, which illuminates this point. All three of the above are of the M category.
That was a good idea, to just be like, just watch Tick History's video. There's no fucking way I'm going to be able to explain in this 10-minute video why the Nazis were fucking socialists. Like, just watch this video.
Video on the origins of National Socialism, which illuminates this point. All three of the above are of the M category. essentially Platonists, but despite their similarity of mode of thinking, they do hold significant enmity towards each other, and all view the other as fundamentally evil, even if they share many of the same core philosophical ideas. And all of them, being collectivists and authoritarians, they do resort to political violence against each other and against others as well. This is what would explain, say, the recent shooting of Charlie Kirk, who himself was a rather moderate member of the religionist camp with some nationalistic ideas, but was seen as a mortal danger by a member of the leftist camp for his advocacy of his views. And as that philosophy holds words to be violence, the shooting of him was nothing but an act of self-defense for the murderer in question. A possibility of reprisals for this from the religionists or the fascists remains now a very reasonable possibility for the exact same reasons. All of these groups.
I mean, you tied in, like there was a setup and a payoff. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say that was clean. That was like, you set it up in the beginning with the thumbnail, you kind of, and then you're tying it now here. That was clean. That was clean. I got nothing to say about that other than that was perfect. That's exactly how you should have done it.
Also, like, the funny thing is that, like I could replace any other example of political violence with Charlie Kirk and explain it. So it's not a Charlie Kirk video, but it's a Charlie Kirk video.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the thing that that's the thing that people are thinking of in the moment. Also, I don't know what you did during editing that made this giant gray bar on the side, but fix that.
Yeah. Okay.
Remains now a very reasonable possibility for the exact same reasons. All of these groups see the other as fundamentally evil, and with every subsequent sensationalist act will ask their political representatives for increasing radicalism, refusal to compromise, and even violence, furthering the...
Hey, I brought up Slavoj Zizek, and he just happened to be in the fucking video. All right. Wasn't expecting that, but fair enough.
For increasing radicalism, refusal to compromise, and even violence, furthering the vicious cycle. The politics of unprincipled, concrete-bound compromisers is a remnant of the Kantian era, which is coming to an end. Further radicalization is to be expected. Another alternative, a real alternative to both Plato and Kant, is objectivism, a philosophy discovered by Ayn Rand, and the final and long-needed completion of Aristotle. With Rand giving a new rational philosophy which answers and displaces Kant, we now have a re-emergence of the I mode of thinking, with the possibility of a re-emergence of rational ethics, rational science, with its unprecedented technological progress, of respect of natural rights of man, with its unprecedented economic prosperity, and of great art, of a culture of never-before-seen greatness. This is because objectivism has as its guiding principle
the video is in ambient mode. That's why it's like that. Oh, I did that. Okay. Fucking, I don't remember how to fix that. But okay. Yeah. My bad. I'm retarded. That's all on me. All right.
Before seen greatness. This is because objectivism has as its guiding principle the primacy of existence. They do not begin with I want, but with it is. All other alternatives present are in some way dependent upon the opposite approach, the primacy of consciousness, be it divine or collective or personal. But consciousness is an ability to perceive existence, and thus cannot come before it. And so, objectivism.
This should not have been in the video. That should be a video in and of itself. Trying to throw in the distinction between the primacy of existence and the primacy of consciousness and give it a quick definition, as you're talking, it's maybe it would be okay if you then had a pop-up in the top right, that said I have a video on this distinction, check it out here. Maybe then it would be fine in here for those that want to learn more. But you've already thrown so much at them that then trying to just shoehorn in the primacy of existence and the primacy of consciousness is way too much for the normal viewer.
Yeah.
It's not bad for an objectivist watching it. It's bad for a normal watching.
Or personal. But consciousness is an ability to perceive existence, and thus cannot come before it. And so, objectivism, with its focus on existence as the primary, builds a philosophical structure grounded in reality, and thus always...
Casimir says, I question this man's Indian credentials. Where are the sexy ladies throughout the video? Oh, that's so racist and funny. My favorite thing about Indians and music videos and the need to have tits everywhere was that fucking I don't know the language, so please forgive me. Right, but that dun 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 video, dun 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 da da da, right? That fuck, and the whole reason he made that video was because everyone was like, you suck as a singer. Nothing you do is good. The only reason that you're able to have any success is because you put hot bitches in all your videos, and then people just watch it for the hot bitches. And he was like, fine, I'll make a video that's nothing but really bad CGI and me. And then he did it, and it is the best song he ever made, and it's amazing.
Yeah. That's correct, by the way.
Yeah, I know a little bit. I know a little bit about a lot of things. All right, I just don't know a lot about too many things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right, let's continue.
Ability to perceive existence, and thus cannot come before it. And so, objectivism, with its focus on existence as the primary, builds a philosophical structure grounded in reality and thus always corresponding to reality. This sets objectivism apart as the only philosophy which will be correct in its correspondence, predictions, and prescriptions about reality and what man should do. And as such, the wonderful results I listed above can be gained, but only from this kind of an approach. But this is a big shift, and will be and is being resisted by both the Kantians and the Platonists. And thus, while undefeated, the Aristotelian resurgence is small compared to these others. The objectivists are radicals too, but they are radicals for reason and objective truth, including the ideas of rights, and as such, would not engage in the vicious cycle of violence out of principle, and would never use violence except in self-defense against the initiation of force upon them first. The future lies in one of these alternatives. Either one of the three Platonic alternatives takes over and imposes a dictatorship, or the Aristotelian remnant takes over and humanity enters an unprecedented golden age. Only time and the actions of people like you and me can decide. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, I am posting in the description the original playlist of The Dim Hypothesis by Leonard Peacock. I would highly recommend you go and watch these and learn this theory for yourself to better arm yourself in the struggle to come for the future of humanity. Thank you.
I want to say that's also a really good outro, algorithmically speaking, because anytime people believe that the video is coming to an end, they click off. And so when you were like, thank you, like, subscribe, and then you immediately went in and said, I'm going to post this in the description so you can do this. You did a really clean, quick outro that like even has a little bit of an extra thing to keep them in. Like, oh wait, what was that last little bit? That gets them to have, like, again, meaningful watch duration. You want people to watch as close to 100% of your videos as you can. So some of the things you did really bad, right? Just to review, little too heavy on like kind of the cultish religious kind of language to try and really punch up. You got to tone that down for the normies. You got to get a better microphone. You need to buy a real microphone. Even if it's if you're gonna make content, like there is a microphone. Like, even if it's just like a Yeti condenser mic, right? Like, not a really expensive one, just like a $50 mic or something. A USB 2.0 condenser microphone is fine, but that little lapel shit, the headset mic or whatever, it's giving you really bad audio. And that bad audio is going to cause people to leave your videos immediately. But the video editing was good. The concepts were good. The setup and payoff with the Charlie Kirk was good. It was a little too heady, like you I think you pushed in a little too many concepts in that amount of time, but overall it's A tier, man. Overall, it's a great video. I liked it. More of this from everybody, guys.
Yeah. All right, let me.
More of this. Hard disagree with Scott here. He needs a proper converter first. The microphone can be cheaper. Talk to somebody that knows their audio well, right? Casimir might be able. Casimir's good with the hookups and the deals. I don't know. Maybe you probably want to talk to somebody local because obviously you're in India. So what deals you can and can't get, what's going to be cheap and expensive is going to be different. But yeah, you're kind of not wrong, Casimir. If you plan on doing this long term, you can get a cheaper mic first, but get other things later, right? Like, because just as an example of a mistake that I made is like, I got a cheap Focusrite, and then I got a really nice mic, and for the longest time, I had subpar audio until I needed to get a better preamp, right? And it's like, he's kind of not wrong that you can get a cheap mic first if you have other, like you have preamps and things like that make the audio crisper, and then you can upgrade to a better mic later. But just talk to a tech guy. Like, I'm sure some like audiophile nerds, and see what deals you can get in India, because I'm sure I'm sure like whatever product I suggest to you is gonna be a price to performance thing, and you're gonna have different prices in India.
Yeah, basically. And yeah, I am doing like that research, and I'm like saving up for a good mic and everything. Like, I will fix the audio issue as soon as possible. Like
Well, it's
because
just like your video right now. Like you can film with a camera and have like a phone and have passable video, right? Like you don't need like I have like my video setup is I got it on a Black Friday sale for a couple $100, and then the lens I use was like another 120, right? Like nobody needs this unless you are streaming every day, right? Like nobody needs video like, and with my studio lights and everything, I've easily got over $1,000 worth of video equipment. But that shit pales in comparison to good audio. Good audio is so much more important than video. Don't worry about the video at all until you can stream to 10,000 viewers with a webcam. And like you won't get that much of an increase in your profits and in your views and stuff with upgrading your video, but you'll see a huge increase with good audio.
Yeah. I think the audio issue is going to be like, it is the first thing that I will resolve.
Yeah. The other problem is for streaming and for talking to people is your internet. And I don't know if you can really fix that in India. I don't know what you have available to you, depending upon where you live.
It's just annoying in the sense that like it's taking some iterations, because I think yesterday got a new router installed, and now it's giving me problems. So I'm gonna have to like call the people up, and like it's just fucking annoying.
Okay.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah, I'm dude, I'm really excited to see if like how much faster space Elon Musk's internet. Because right now it's passable to stream on, but it's not quite good enough, right? But it's not that like a few more satellites, a few more iterations, it looks like he's going to be able to have oh my god, what is this fucking internet called? I don't know. To talk to Casimir. Casimir might be able to help you.
I think Elon Musk's is Starlink, right?
Starlink. I couldn't think of the name. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I saw him do a video where he was streaming a video game at like 30 frames per second without any significant lag. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, whatever. It's kind of dog shit. And then not long ago, I saw like CNN streaming like 7 different streams from an airplane, and it was working fine. And I was like, oh shit, like this is about to get a lot better. My Discord background is still the space thing. Yeah, I haven't changed it in fucking OBS. Right when I launched stream, fucking here we go.
It still looks beautiful, very much.
Okay, hold on. Oh my god. Hold on. We'll get there, boys. We'll get there. Oh, this isn't the one I wanted. Hold on. It's not the one I wanted. This one. There we go. Ah! No! Oh my god, stop it! I'm not used to using fucking OBS. I'm used to using Streamlabs. Oh my god, did it lock? What is happening?
Like you are moving, the background is not.
Oh my god, what in the fuck?
Yeah, I think it's moving now. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. Fucking, here we go, boys.
Yeah.
Aha! I might need to reverse the image. Or no, that's fucking Discord. All right, boys. Was there any other, is anybody else's content that they wanted to watch? It was kind of an impromptu Saturday thing. Oh, guys.
Yeah.
If nobody else has any fucking content from their own channels or whatever that they really wanted me to look at, that's fine. I'll be back Monday. But also, I'm working on making a new intro video. So please, in the Discord, send me random clips from like, you know, just moments from the last year for a new fucking slop-worthy intro video, right? Because like everything in my intro video is like all outdated shit, right? And I need new shit, like new, like what the fuck was happening in politics here. If you've watched my intro video, you kind of get what I'm going for. I'm just going for funny shock factor, crazy things that happened, you know, usually like relevant to today. And my video is now outdated, so we're making a new one. How about one of my video game reviews? It's like 2 minutes. Yeah, what? I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll watch a video game review. I'll give you some critique on that. DM it to me over Discord. Do you want to hang out here still, or do you want to hop out of here?
I would hop out of here. I'm gonna have to go to the gym.
Hell yeah, brother.
Because it's
Get some gains. All right, peace.
Right.
Everybody follow. What is the channel name
See ya.
again? What's your channel name again?
Frontier. I was in the chat earlier as well.
The Rational what?
Rational Frontier. Just Rational Frontier.
The Rational Frontier?
Rational Frontier.
Oh, not the. Rational Frontier.
No,
All right. All right. Rational Frontier. I'll link the video again when I'm not being
just
dumb.
Before I go, just before I go, can I like use the part of the stream in which I was as a video?
Yeah, dude. Again, not. I'm an anarcho-objectivist, not a fucking randroid. I don't believe in IP. Use that shit.
Okay. Thank you. See you.
All right, brother.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, hold on. Here's the video we watched. Hell yeah, guys. Go watch the video. Again, if you want to, let it go on in the background. Let me just stop all this shit. All right. All right. All right. 8-Bit has a channel.
Hey, everybody. Do you like games?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. What is 8-Bit? 8-Bit. You got to work on the voice. I like, maybe it'll be funny. Maybe it'll be good. Video isn't showing up? What do you mean video isn't showing up?
We live in a world where political.
Oh yeah, no, I was just clicking it and then it auto played. Like that's not like I haven't done this. Like it was just like I was just talking for a second because it did an auto play. Save to watch later. Yeah, it's a good video. It's one that I would like listen to again to like remind myself of concepts and theory, because it's so condensed. Play that Indian tune, dude. I will play it just for a second, but I will 100% get a copyright strike if I play more than like 10 seconds of a video. Right? Like there is oh my God. Oh, now I can't think of the name of the fucking song. Oh, here it is. Tanuk Tanuk Tun is the video. Is the video that I was referencing. Check it out, all right? But it's this song. And if you watch it, it's just the worst CGI you've ever seen. But again, this guy was like super fucking like in India, people were just being like, you're only famous because you put hot girls in your videos. And he was like, all right, then fuck you. I'm going to do a goddamn, Avatar, the Last Airbender CGI of just me. Here's the water elemental and the fire elemental. And it's just him. It's just him in bad CGI. And it's a fucking banger. Listen to the whole song. It's fun. It's so cringe it becomes great overall. Exactly. Like just blast that in the car stereo as you pull up into Walmart. And like you'll get some heads turning, but it's fucking great. All right, let's watch your 3-minute game game review. You lied. You said it was only 2 minutes. It's like 2 minutes. I see. You stretched that 2 minutes into 3. Let's watch your fuck. I'm gonna speed it up. I'll watch your game review. See if I can tell people to watch it. 8-Bit Prodigy: Rise of the Triad.
Hey everybody, do you like games? Do you like games?
Why did you randomly splice in
like games?
Fucking
like games where the characters. Do you like?
Why did you splice in fucking the right to repair guy? What was that? Was that a subliminal fucking right? Don't speed it up. Okay, it's only 3 minutes. I'll do it normal. Why did you splice in the right to repair guy?
Like games? Do you like games where you look through the character's eyes? Do you like games where you shoot bad guys until they
look through the character's eyes? You mean third person? I'm sorry, first person?
Die. Do you sleep in the nude? Well, good. And you'll like Rise of the Triad. Rise of the Triangle is a game where you shoot bad guys.
Rise of the Triangle? Dude, this is so cringe. Why are you doing this to me?
Until they die. You can play as several characters. I chose to play as Quentin Tarantino because I like his movies, though he doesn't really look like him, but whatever. Right?
Doesn't look like him, but whatever. Random feet pics. For those that don't know, Quentin Tarantino definitely has a foot fetish. He has such a big foot fetish that when he was making, was it Dust Till Dawn or one of those fucking movies, he cast himself in his own movie just so that he could suck alcohol off of Salma Hayek's feet.
Trilobite has a story, but I didn't pay attention because it's long and boring and I didn't want to read. The first thing you should know is
just what about the story? I don't fucking know. I didn't pay attention to it.
Rise of the Trilog is that it is old.
This is actually getting funnier the more that it's just absurd.
And doesn't have very many graphics, even when compared to its contemporaries like Doom, Descent, or System Shock. But it's still
random Five Nights at Freddy's.
Still fun, right. And despite of all that, Rise of the Tribadism gives you a couple of guns that you can use to shoot bad guys until they die.
Must be on a kilo of weed.
But that's not as impressive
Chris
as
made
the
this.
Rocket launchers they give
Supposedly.
you to shoot bad guys until they die.
Yeah,
There's
it
one
is
that
Chris.
shoots regular rockets, one that shoots homing rockets, one that shoots a bunch of rockets, and one that shoots Bomberman rockets. The only downside is that if the game only lets you carry only one rocket launcher at a time. Rise of the Trident doesn't give you all these rocket launchers to shoot at nothing, though, as there are a bunch of bad guys to shoot at until they die. Like guys wearing gray suits, guys wearing brown suits, and midgets. In one of the later levels, there's a guy with a machine gun who will try to throw a grenade to you.
God, the audio is so bad from the game.
I tried to catch it, but I didn't do a very good job at it. Anyway, if you shoot them with the rockets, they explode into little bits that go everywhere, and that's pretty cool. Now it's time for the final verdict. Cool. I give Rise of the Trioxin 8.5 Mountain Dew and Doritos for fun and funny gameplay, and because it's cool when you blow up bad guys into little pieces. It also has some really good music too. But I also give it 2 Sprite Zero and Wheat Thins for having not very many different weapons, and bad guys you can shoot at until they die, in spite of having
2 Bright Zeros and Wheat Thins. Oh, fuck, this is actually kind of funny. I'm not going to lie.
a bunch of different rocket launchers.
What the fuck was this random template of fucking, like the fuck... fucking PowerPoint template?
Launchers.
Fucking stupid. It was stupid, but it's a kind of, it's not something I would ever want to watch. but it is something that I would send to somebody to watch just so that they would be like, what the fuck did you just send me? Unban me on Discord, and after the problem is, Slope, is that what is your fucking name even on Discord? I will give you another chance to follow TOS. Give me a second. Fucking, oh God. No, I gotta go to server. I'm trying to remember where the fucking server settings are. Here they are. Server settings. Server tagging, games and posts, emoji stickers, soundboard, members, roles, invites, access. Bands. Here we go. What was your fucking name? Call of Duty athlete, right? There we go. Because I have so many. I have like 30 bans from years of doing this. And most of them are, hey, my account was hacked or it was a spam. There's very few people who are legitimately banned. There's Forever 6439, Ryan Wraith, Toyolo has been banned, Isaac Clark has been banned, Bob Marley, I banned him. I don't remember what the fuck I banned him for, but he was annoying as fuck. I'm gonna revoke that ban. See if he comes back. Ghost, I think, might have been somebody that was doing like some crazy shit. Zedetic. These are people that violated TOS. I don't know who the new person is named Rabbi Samuel Heidwitz, but I can feel like I know why they were banned. Evolutionary Capitalist has been banned. I forgot about that. He's been a cunt for so long. King Supreme Leader. I don't know why I banned him, but I'm not reinstating. All right, there you go. His vid is probably TOS. Just post it in general. I'm in general right now. Just post it. If it's TOS bait, then I'll just fucking... Dude, my ban list is really fucking short for someone that this Discord's like at least 3 years old. I think it's like 4 years old. Right? Like this is the entire server ban list. This is it. And almost all of these were like bots or like this one, for example, Geeker Seeker up here. That's Computer Carnage's other fucking account that got hacked, right? Like most of these are spam bots or hacked shit. Free Toyolo.
The Battle of the...
Okay, there's a 3-minute video on YouTube. Ethnic PLSL gods versus white PSL gods. TikTok look-maxing Mog battle. So this is going to be a dumb as fuck video.
PSL gods.
Who will dominate France? The hottest ethnicity will spread their genes and clap all of the cheeks.
Who is hotter? Who is the king? Who is the superior male?
The battle of the front.
What the fuck am I watching?
Ellen versus Sapphire. Who is the sexiest seducer?
This is the gayest shit ever. This is the gayest Gen Z brain rot bullshit ever. Oh, fuck, man. It doesn't fucking matter when you import a bunch of motherfuckers and you give them money to breed and you fucking tax all the white people, all right? Like, it has nothing to do with the superior genes. It just has everything to do with the ideology of white people fucking bringing in all of the people to outbreed them. Anytime I see those videos of like girls being like, as like a guy walks by, I remember that there's like this one video of like this guy doing the same thing, like some 6 foot, 7, mogging everybody video. And they're making these like, faces. And they're like, look at that stank face. They love him so much. And then it turned out that many of the girls then came to talk about that video and was like, yeah, the dude smelled really bad. Like, those are not looks of sexual attraction. Those are looks of a dude that was really fucking stinky walking through. And considering this man's, I can never unthink of that now when I see these videos of them being like, ooh, oh, where it's just them investigating a bad smell. That man's definitely got a fucking Justin Trudeau kind of look to him.
The Battle of the South Coast. Chico versus Malik. Who is the cutest guy?
this man, I hesitate to call him a man. This man looks like a rape victim.
Shaheen joins.
That guy looks like the next person to play in a Prince of Persia, made for Netflix series spinoff.
Shaheen joins the mob battle against Chico. It's over, buddy boy.
Dude, this is just too gay. Like, this is super gay. What did he do to his lips? Why are his lips so shiny? Like, is he just constantly, like, does he have on fucking lip gloss? That man has on lip gloss. Why are you gay?
The South Coast has fallen to the Red Army. They shall now spread their jeans and clap some cheeks. The battle of the northern flank. Sean versus Salutin. Who is the most handsome pal?
I feel like I'm going to get fucking copyright. If I get copyright striked on this dog shit music, I'm going to be so fucking mad at you, Slope. I'm going to ban you from Discord again if I get copyright striked on this garbage fucking highly edited fucking noise. No homo. I'd follow that man into battle. That man mogs. All right, Slope is dope. That man mogs everybody. That's a good looking man. Look at those fucking cheekbones that he put highlighter on for some. This man looks malnourished.
The Red Army have conquered the northern and southern front. The white PSL gods are about to face extinction.
What the fuck does PSL even mean?
Time to Max Boyos. Jordan, David, and Brad Pitt join the Blue Forces. Suicide fuel for the Red Army.
Didn't breed a single molecule.
These men all look gay. This is like the second guy that doesn't look gay immediately. Is this guy and that guy. These are the only two that don't just scream homosexual from a distance.
The blue team rescued all of the fertile cheeks from being filled to the edge balls deep.
That's it. There's no point to the video whatsoever. What the fuck, man? All right, Casimir, what'd you send me? You didn't send me any palate cleansing shit. Oh, Luca, what did you? Yeah, Luca, if you're still watching, I know you said you got to go to the gym. Have a good one, brother. Where's the other? Where's my music? That was peak stuff. I mean, it was fucking peak homoeroticism, I guess. Scott, did you see the massacre in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil this week? No, I didn't. I didn't hear about that at all. Hold on. $132 killed? What?
Now to Brazil, which is witnessing the deadliest police operation in its history. More than 130 people have been killed. The operation was launched against a violent gang, but it seems innocents have died as well. The raids happened in Rio de Janeiro. The target was one of Brazil's biggest criminal gangs, but the scale of violence has shocked the country. There's drone footage. It shows bodies lined up at the city's Medical Legal Institute. Officials say that they seized drugs and weapons, but critics say this was not a victory. This was a massacre. Apparently, Brazil's president, Lula da Silva, was not even informed about the raid. Now the country's Supreme Court has stepped in. The United Nations has condemned the killings, and families in Rio are still coming to terms.
Yeah, I mean, I just went to like the first, thing that I could click that was like a somewhat trusted news source, I guess, right? Like I don't fucking know. I'm just grabbing the first thing to see what the hell's going on. And they said 132 2 days ago.
Terms with the horror. Here is a report.
Hey. I don't know. You're not allowed to show gore on YouTube. I don't know how the fuck they're getting away with it. A lot of people dead. We'll skip to this. Or I guess I'll just minimize it. It's blurred out? Okay.
This is the Medical Legal Institute in Rio de Janeiro. And these are the bodies of the victims who were killed. Some under white sheets, others still being identified. From above, the scale is clear. It began as a police operation, but it has now become the deadliest raid in Brazil's history. 132 people are dead.
Okay, but like of the 132 presumably dead, how many of these people are like violent gangsters and how many of these people are like innocent bystanders? And like what methods were used to that like may have increased like was this an appropriate police operation against 100 gangsters and like 32 civilians ended up in the crossfire? And like, was there not really a way to, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of, because if it's 130, if it's like 128 gangsters and like 4 dead civilians that happen to be in the building and they were like trying to, then fuck them. I mean, like it sucks for the families. It's 2 criminal organizations fighting each other, right? But like the aggressor isn't per se the state. Only 17 gangsters died? I don't know that I trust you, Slope.
And now critics are asking, how did it go so wrong? This happened in Rio de Janeiro, in the city's low-income neighborhoods, known as favelas. The raid was planned for months. It was supposed to target one of Brazil's most powerful gangs, the Comando Vermelho, or Red Command. They deal in drugs, weapons, and often resort to extortion. And they've been expanding into new areas. So, 2 days ago, around 2,000...
What is this reporter? This reporter's voice is like weird.
500 police officers and soldiers moved in. They came on foot and in armored trucks. The plan was to push gang members into a forested area where special forces were waiting in ambush. Gunfire broke out.
Came for the AMA but got catfished and now watching a male prawn video. Dude, sometimes things happen.
Area where special forces were waiting in ambush. Gunfire broke out. And what followed was chaos. By evening, dozens of bodies were found across 2 neighborhoods, Pena Complex and Alemão Complex. Some of the victims were gang members, but locals say many were civilians were caught in the crossfire. Families laid bodies.
Many say? What? That's your reporting on this? Many say. Many locals. I don't trust the word of people that live in the How many times have you seen, oh, he was a good boy? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know, like, to what degree, what percentage of these people were actual gangsters. I know Brazilians from that area, Complexo de Maio, completely run by criminals. Even criminals go out there from other places to hide from the police. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he was a good boy. Like, and then see the media showing like a picture of him from Facebook from like 2017. And it's like, okay. Does domination and exploitation exist in an ANCAP framework? If so, how do we have capitalism without it? What? Domination and exploitation exists it doesn't exist in an ANCAP framework, but in reality it exists. They're aggressors, right? Like, it depends on how you're defining domination, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean by domination? Because, fuck, I mean, a BDSM relationship is perfectly commiserate with anarcho-capitalism. It's not something I think I don't think it does anything good in society, but it's there. That's domination. It's in the fucking name, but it's a perfectly voluntary exchange, presumably, right? I don't know that. I think there's a lot of trauma bonding and abuse that does occur within that community, but whatever, right? But if so, how do we have capitalism without it? but no, exploitation is not capitalism. It depends on what you mean by domination, because hierarchy is a natural part of life. And so if you voluntarily engage in a relationship where an employer has some control over your life because they have control over your work, so long as that is a voluntary relationship, one might define that as domination, another might define it as a voluntary hierarchy. So I guess it kind of depends on what you mean. But it depends, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get in like a Mott and Bailey thing, but like domination in its most extreme circumstance where it becomes involuntary is not commiserate with anarcho-capitalism, and capitalism doesn't require that, and it certainly doesn't require exploitation. In fact, it requires a lack of exploitation, unlike other economic systems where exploitation and domination of the extreme form are built into the system. So if we're taking the extreme kind of like or maybe the colloquial expression of exploitation and domination, then it is socialism that is exploitative and domineering. Been reading a lot of classical anarchist shit, just asking because they say exploitation is inherently within capitalism. Yeah, I mean, you'll hear that from like Proudhon, you'll hear that from like the older, like the older mutualists and things of that nature. But I mean, their contemporaries, like, they're also using capitalism in a way that doesn't exist. In a way that you wouldn't necessarily be the same way that we're using it today, right? So at its onset, especially in the 1800s, capitalism is a pejorative of the economic system of laissez-faire capitalism, free markets, etc., right? But that's not per se what they're talking about. What they're talking about is the ruling class creating private property as a means of exploiting the underprivileged and separating them from their rights, et cetera, et cetera. So like you'll even see some derogatory comments about capitalism in the Anarchist Manifesto, right, by Belguru. But if you look at what it is that Belguru puts forward, he specifically states that, a minarchist state. He's not an anarchist in any, like the guy that made the A with the O symbol and has the quote, anarchy is order, government is civil war, right? Like he's a minarchist. He's like not even a full-blown ANCAP, for that time. Spooner, Tucker, Warren, right? Like they all, one way or another, justify private property rights completely, in the exact opposite way that like Kropotkin would. And they all advocate, like Spooner and Tucker got into an argument about what is or isn't exploitative in terms of usury, where I can't remember who was on which side, but like one is basically stating that usury is a nonsense concept from a liberty perspective, and the other is saying like, oh, well, there could be predatory loans essentially, right? So like when we talk about capitalism today, we're not really talking about it like the early anarchists are talking about it as an assumption that capitalism is already an evil. And again, if you read Proudhon's Property is Theft, right? Like kind of the father of anarchism in today's vein, right? He also says that property is liberty, right? So like it's very clear that when he's critiquing property is theft and he's critiquing the concept of private property, he's coming at it from a time period where capitalism means something different, and where he's talking about the exploitation isn't necessarily just a voluntary agreement between two people, but rather landed gentry being given land based off of their noble titles and rights. As the economy industrialized, creating a merchant noble class that has control over the population and is given quote unquote private property, but they didn't homestead that property in any meaningful sense, and it's not a voluntary relationship. So you have to be careful when you're reading old school shit that you're not reading in our definitions and concepts of capitalism today and what they meant by capitalism then, and instead are kind of looking at the arguments that they're making for voluntary interactions, hierarchy, property rights, etc. I've had libertarian views, but I'm not sure who and what I would read first. Do you have any suggestions? What are you into? Right? Like I tell people that I think if you're just starting off, one of my favorite primers, honestly, is A Brief History of Man by Hans Hermann Hoppe. And it's I think it's cool, not because it's really giving a lot of hardcore anarchist or libertarian like arguments and views, but rather it gives a way of looking at history from a libertarian lens and looking at like what is the history of class struggle, what is the history of power, what is the history of empires, what is the history of like man and how man went from being a caveman into, you know, chiefdoms and things of that nature, but kind of looking at it from a libertarian lens and kind of giving you a new way to view the world. I think that's a great place to start if you're not ready to like jump into theory.
Families laid bodies out in the
Murders
streets.
and or not murders, we'll see.
Protesters gathered outside the state government offices, chanting, "Assassins." The governor of Rio called it, and it, quote, "a historic success." He says 118 weapons and more than a ton of drugs were seized.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about drugs, but I mean, like, drugs is
In yesterday's battle, the police...
I can't remember. I think it might be A Brief History of Man. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, Short History of Man. It's also not a long book. And on top of that, you can get the PDF from Mises, because ANCAPs are anti, we tend to be anti-IP for the most part, right? So, I mean, full book is like, I think it's like 80-some pages, but I think this is where, somewhere in here should be like citations start popping up. No, is it a little longer than I thought? It's been a while since I've read it. Okay, yeah, so 132 pages. But it's not like a super big book either, you know?
Police emerged victorious. I repeat, our 4 victims were the 4 police officers killed.
For the most part, by definition. Okay, yes, by definition. I just mean that there's a whole world of people calling themselves libertarians and ANCAPs and I didn't want to get too into it, but yes, ANCAPs by definition are against IP. You'll find some people in the liberty space that are pro-IP, especially objectivists.
The police emerged victorious. I repeat, our 4 victims were the 4 police officers killed. The rest were criminals. It wasn't our intention to kill anyone.
The victims are the 4 police officers killed. It's a fucking, all right, man.
We wanted to arrest them all alive, but it was retaliation.
But human rights groups are calling it.
Nah, bro, I'm not watching a video by Christ cuck pastors after I already watched one of your videos and it was awful. Okay, it was awful.
A massacre. Brazil's president, Lula da Silva, said he was horrified. He wasn't even informed about the operation beforehand. Now the country's Supreme Court has ordered Rio's governor to explain how it happened.
Okay, what you talking about? By what happened? Like, what are we talking about? Right? Like I want to know how many of these people were fucking criminals. How many people were innocent? And I want to know what occurred that was supposedly like a disaster, right? Like, did they just go in and indiscriminately shoot and spray bullets and kill like 100 people that were innocent, trying to take down 20 people? Like, this is bullshit. This is, at least this reporting is bullshit. If anybody has anything better that gives me more details, let me know. I'm hopping off of this. Well, I mean, let me finish at least.
President Lula was shocked by the number of deaths in Rio de Janeiro. He was also surprised, to some extent, that an operation of this scale was launched without the federal government's knowledge or involvement.
Is the federal government supposed to know every time police actions occur? Like, I don't know. I guess what I keep racking my brain on is they try to say it's not really a voluntary exchange in capitalism. Yeah, I mean, that is a belief that is like, I just find to be absurd and untrue, right? Like it's, you know, it stems from the concept that communists, Marxists, leftists do not believe that, well, it stems from this. They ascribe morality to the state of man, to nature. And so from their perspective, nature itself is coercive. Even though nature does not have a will of its own, they find a means of saying that a hurricane is coercive, that a drought is coercive, that natural occurrences without will in the world create starvation or create a lack of resources, etc. And so when they start mixing positive and negative rights together is where it really becomes a problem, because they do not believe just in negative rights, they believe in positive rights because of the nature of the coerciveness of The Law by Bastiat is great first read. I don't tell people to start with non-libertarian things to learn libertarianism, right? Like, it's fine to go back and learn more about the history once you have a good basis of where we are now. I don't want to tell people to read things that contradict what we believe to then begin to understand what we believe. It's far better to have an understanding of the right ideas and then read about where they came from. Like don't read Hayek's Road to Serfdom as a start. It's great to learn about the local knowledge problem and how Austrian economic theory, where it came from, etc. But, what else do you recommend? I need to know what you're interested in learning. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of books. But anyways, so nature is coercive, right? Once you accept this concept that nature is coercive and coercion is no longer about will, is no longer about human action, and that morality is no longer tied to behavior, but now morality is about circumstances and economic conditions, then all of a sudden you get this contradictory justification from the left that it is okay to violate my rights because other people's have been coerced by nature. So it becomes okay to steal my money and to steal my property because other people are hungry. Other people are suffering. Redistribution needs to occur, etc. That is where you get into the concept of capitalism is exploitative, because the exploitation, they have shifted the exploitation of nature onto man. So the capitalist with a bunch of resources that says, hey, I'll hire you to work in my factory for $20 an hour, that then makes a bunch of money because they owned the factory, they owned the means of production, right? They are now exploiting you because your labor is like part of what goes into this, when what you're really doing is you're transferring the presumed exploitation of nature itself, in that they're starving, they're hungry, they have needs that are unmet, and you're anthropomorphizing nature onto the capitalist, and the capitalist is evil by just nature or virtue of the fact that they have more than others that are suffering. And so they call it exploitation, but their logic is contradictory nonsense all the way up. But that's where they're really getting it from, is that it's not like what they're misappropriating nature, and man's struggle to shape nature towards his own will so that he can achieve success, and the default state of man being a starving creature that needs to go out and work and create in order to feed oneself, into those that have more are exploitators. At least that's the best way I could answer that. You can clap back from the mutual aid societies, thus the issue of nature being coercive wouldn't be an issue, that we have a voluntary way of assisting the unlucky and the needy. Yeah. You have an opinion on the labeling of classical objectivism versus objectivism? I prefer the term that Zulu and others use, specifically within objectivism, from objectivists themselves from the other camp, which is closed and open objectivism. Right? Like you have closed objectivism, where it is, we believe what Rand said, and I think they tend to be dogmatic, and they tend to be wrong about certain things because they're wrong about IP. And then you have open objectivism, right, where we can allow the ideas and we can go through the ideas, and when we find as Luca was saying earlier, misintegration, right, that we can then correct that cognitive dissonance. So I would consider myself an open objectivist, and I would consider the Randroids that are incorrect on certain things to be closed objectivists. Did I get to watch the Leibowitz Zulu debate over objectivism? Nah, I'm kind of saving it for like a Tuesday or Wednesday where I don't have any interviews or anything, and we'll just kind of watch it on stream. The only time I might watch it off stream if I end up having like scheduling a talk with Leibowitz again to speak in the future, just to like have a better understanding of what he's arguing for and what Zulu's arguing for.
This gang, Red Command, was born inside Brazil's prisons. Today, they control entire neighborhoods, including parts of the Amazon. But this raid has reopened old wounds. Brazil has a long history of violent police operations in favelas, but rarely are the death tolls this high. The last time...
Again, how many people that died were fucking criminal members, and what were the means and methods to go after these criminal gangs? Because if the means and the methods to go after these criminal gangs were reasonable based upon the power that they had to, you know, eradicate these people that are aggressors, then it's two criminal organizations fighting each other. And the criminal organization that is kidnapping people within neighborhoods and running terror on those people, and they are the aggressors, not the police here. But if the police went in and they were just like, fuck it, bomb all the buildings, spray bullets, and like most of these people are civilians, then yeah, I have a serious issue with this.
Anything similar to this happened was back in 2021, when a raid left 29 people dead. This time, it's more than 4 times worse. Schools were shut, universities canceled classes, shops pulled down shutters.
Yeah, I saw Diogo Davum. Like this is kind of an impromptu Saturday thing. I don't know that I want to get like super into it, but I might watch it off stream.
People in the favelas are asking,
thanks for the explanation. This dude, a narc, has been popping into my feed. He's a lunatic lefty anarchist. Yeah, I've seen a narc before. And like I was like, dude, I'll debate you on whether, like, because he said that he'll debate anybody on whether or not, you know, like what is like why anarcho-capitalism isn't anarchism. And then like he just blocked me like when I challenged him, because I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll debate that. And right, like, and then like, and I think Liquid Zula may have tried to debate him in the past. This was like a couple years ago. And then like refused to engage in it. Right. So he pretends like he's open to debate, but he's only willing to debate people that he knows don't have a good grounding of the history and philosophy of it. And because he doesn't want any of the ideas challenged, he just wants to spew lies.
Who's protecting us?
To be fair, this was a few years ago, so maybe he's better about it now. And like, it's not like he's going through his blocked list to like unblock people. You know what I mean? Like, but the last I saw of them, that's what was going on.
The United Nations has condemned the violence. Brazil heads into elections next year. And national security is already one of the top issues. Nearly half the population believes violence has increased since Lula returned to power.
ANCOMs are just commies? Yeah, I'd say that ANCOMs are just commies. I think anarcho-communism is a contradiction because communism isn't anarchistic. It is only anarchistic insofar as it is utopic, right? Like the end goal of the utopia is described as an anarchistic community, but no implementation of communism can lead to anarchism because it's contradictory with anarchism. That being said, you can be a voluntarist that has, collective communal values and go create a commune somewhere where everybody agrees to like share in, the resources for good or for worse, right? And then maybe like trade with other people, but like live in that like, shared voluntary space. And you could call that anarcho-communism. That's not what anarcho-communism is. And those people are very, very, very rare compared to the majority of anarcho-communists, which is just a new brand of fucking communism.
The Brazilian government says it understands the need to fight violent gangs. But critics say raids like these may be creating more fear than security. The question now, was this justice or just another tragedy?
Yeah, that's my fucking question. Was this justice or tragedy? Like, what the fuck? I need to know how many people were fucking gangsters and what were the means and methods to take out those gangsters, and were they excessive?
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
You didn't give me any fucking facts. Does anybody have a better fucking explanation of what's going on there? You keep telling me to fucking go to the Discord video. I just already told you that, like, I don't want to watch a fucking thing on the history of it. This video is age restricted. Oh, hold on. And a different one.
On the 28th of October, Brazilian special.
I don't know that I want to watch another 16-minute video on this. I'm not a big, I don't, hold on. I don't like, is the operation? Okay. Fair enough. I try to steer clear of breaking news, right? And the reason I try to steer clear of breaking news is I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. And I understand if it bleeds, it leads. But, like, I am recalcitrant, especially when we're talking about things in other countries. It's the main reason I don't talk about Israel-Palestine conflicts and, like, news and shit that much, because there's, like, a fog of war. We end up finding out what happened years later. I like to look at things from a libertarian analysis, from a philosophical analysis. Came out a little hard against you. You were like, hey, did you hear about this? And I was like, oh, fuck, let me look into it. I don't want to go into like a 20-minute, 2-hour, like reaction breakdown, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know much about Brazil's history, right? I don't know much about their governmental structure. I don't know much about I just don't know enough to give a real opinion on these scenarios other than like, oh yeah, I heard about that. Here's my ideas from the philosophy standpoint. I find this to be lazy content that people do to get clicks and views because people are interested in the blood and the craziness and the shock factor. And I find that most people end up saying shit that's completely wrong because new information comes out a few days later. An ANCAP starter pack would be very helpful for the noobs. If you're really, really interested in learning the philosophy, Liquid Zulu has his GitHub, and like Liquid Zulu will go through all of the shit that you need to know as an anarcho-objectivist, right? If you're trying to slowly learn on your own and read, then I'll ask you what you're interested in, and then I'll direct you towards some cool books that are about that. So I'm not trying to be a dick, right, Diego? I just the BOPE special forces beheaded a drug dealer's head, and his audios of the dealers said they are wind knives. I'm not sure what was going on, but sure. Hey, thanks for the gifted subs. Abandon post Isil for sake of your Lebanese ancestors. These sobs are murdering your people en masse. Fuck them. I mean, my people were all the Christians. Most of the Christians fucking left. And the ones that are there are under control by the fucking Arab Muslims, right? And then, so like, fucking, I don't know what to tell you, man. My ancestors got my people got the fuck out. I don't know, Liquid Zulu, is that someone on YouTube? Yeah, Liquid Zulu, he's a good friend to the channel. We have some slight disagreements, but he's a better philosopher.
I know this is not the latest mission from Battlefield.
God damn it. He's a better philosopher than me. We each fill our niche, right? Here you go. Here's his YouTube channel. And then from there, you should be able to find links to his GitHub. His GitHub is linked in his links there as well. Or you can just check out some of his videos. He's a bit more autistic than me. And so we just kind of, we fill different niche roles. Jay Dyer lost to Zulu. Oh yeah. They did a debate and Jay Dyer rage quit because he wouldn't play Jay Dyer's game. Literally quit a Crucible debate midway through because he just couldn't handle Liquid Zulu. Liquid Zulu is not a philosopher. He's a spurg. I mean, all right. Casimir sent me something, but he said I had to watch it with no audio. So let's see. America? Oh yeah, this is a good one. Have you guys seen this where the person's there to shoplift and they're shoplifting and then they fucking use the skateboard to stop the robbery in progress? Yeah. I don't know. It's like, Let me guess, the Crucible took that one down? Probably. But the Crucible takes most of its shit down because they put everything behind they put like old content behind paywalls. So I don't know if that's like the Crucible being like, you know, ooh, one of our boys got owned. We better hide this and not just, you know, trying to make money. But yeah, this is such a classic. Gives the gun back to the shopkeeper and then just dips with a whole backpack full of stolen shit. You know, they took their payment. They've sent services rendered, you know. That is America for sure. What is this one? I'm supposed to watch this with no audio, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm not even getting any audio from this. Just a bunch of white dudes with Asian girlfriends? She having an existential crisis? Apropos of what we said earlier. Yeah. It must be that is without a doubt a libertarian meetup. If I've ever seen one, that is a libertarian meetup. Oh, god damn it. I just realized that I wasn't showing any of this. God damn it. I was trying to hide the Discord and then I didn't show any of it. My bad, boys. This is the video that I was commenting on with just watching. You guys are just watching, just me just chilling, watching some random shit. He lacked basic knowledge of philosophical terms and didn't understand how epistemology is applied. I've seen the debate. That's just not true, Silver Ogre. Like, this is like come on now. This is the game that Jay Dyer plays. Is he just tries to confuse the audience with sophistry by trying to get exact definitions and re-say definitions and then subvert the conversation. Jay Dyer is without a doubt the most bad faith debater I've ever run into. Like, someone asked me last night, who are the worst ones? Jay Dyer is my number one worst debater. And then number two, I think, what was my number two? I said soy pilled maybe. And then it was a tie between Second Thought, Infrahaz, and one other person. I can't remember. You got it backwards, Scott? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It's just fucking Jay Dyer is dog shit. He's the worst. He just does everything he can to confuse whatever he's talking about and subvert the other person and engages in deep sophistry. Yeah, you're butthurt. I get it. I mean, sure, whatever. I won't deny that I feel like I wasted my time, and it was when I did debate Jay Dyer that one time that he spurged out like a child, constantly yelled and interrupted, and eventually I just had to switch to conversation mode because he's so incapable of a good faith argument without a moderator deeply reining him in, and then just tried to engage with what it was that he believed. And then, like, yeah, I'm a little butthurt. I understand. You didn't understand and are coping. No, I just like I've said before, like, there are debates that I've lost for sure. But like the conversation that I had with Jay Dyer was so bad that it gets to the point where it's not even a debate. It was just him being a bad faith spurg the entire time. And on top of that, you know, like soon after the stream was over, people sent me video scripts where he was agreeing with everything that he said was false, like 2 months prior to our debate, because he'll just lie and spurg out and try and confuse the audience with a bunch of nonsense, you know, at a later date. It was him massacring you. I mean, sure, brother. You know, you have every right to your opinion in that, right? Like, I respect that that's your opinion. I just think that you've been, I think you just have a real deep bias towards the nonsense of Christianity. And so I just don't think that you're able to see truth in that realm. I don't think you're capable. I think you're just too blindsided by that. It was him constantly interrupting and definition wanking. Well, it was him interrupting and definition wanking, but also like him just constantly insulting too. So it's like every single time he would say, we'd be like, you don't even know what that is. This is why you're so stupid. You're so lucky to have a conversation with me and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, dude, all right. It was a debate I did a couple months ago. I kept, Jay Dyer kept saying, he said that he would debate me. And I kept DMing him over and over again. I was like, yeah, let's schedule a debate. And then he would ignore me. He'd look at it and then he would ignore me over and over again. Because what he wanted to do is he wanted to bring me onto his Twitter space and he wanted to make sure that there was no moderator. Because he knew that like if we had a moderated conversation that it would be less in his favor. And then immediately he just started with like complete and utter nonsense, couldn't stop interrupting. And like several times I was like, dude, do you just want to do like an actual debate at a later date? Like this is like you're acting like a toddler. But I stuck it through. And then at a certain point, I just kind of let him talk and just asked him and interrogated what his beliefs were. Because he was just so unbelievably bad faith that it really wasn't, you couldn't really have a constructive debate with him because he's incapable of acting like an adult. The only way he's able to act like an adult is if he has a moderator that can rein him in. What do I think of President Sunday? Last time I engaged with President Sunday, he tried to get me deplatformed from a debate on like the Israel-Palestine situation. He tried to go behind my back with, oh my God, what was that like Asian trans lady that's like kind of crazy, food shops, right? And he like had a whole half-hour conversation really trying to make sure that I wasn't on the panel, because he's a pussy. And I think he's done some interesting shit with like, I don't mind him shitting on Not So Erudite and other people. But I don't think he's a very good person. I think he's a bad actor. And I think he's a spurg. There's a layer missing on current ANCAP thought. I'm working on it. Dude, if you like get something put together, I'd be happy to read it or watch it. You don't base your knowledge on my Jewish God, you're automatically wrong. Pretty much, yeah. I tried really, really hard to understand the tag argument, right? To like be as good faith as I could about it. But the tag argument is just presuppositionalism. It's just nonsense. It's like they will constantly accuse you of presuppositionalism while engaged in presuppositionalism. And they refuse to engage with it. It's just, I believe God is real, therefore I will try and like, and like the entire tag argument, it works really well, to be fair, against like humanists that don't think that their morality system is just a preference system, but it just doesn't work against anybody that's actually grounded in logic. And they get really, really defensive and really, really angry when you point out that it's just presupposing God is real. It's like it's circular nonsense. And then they will accuse you of circular nonsense when you bring up the primacy of existence. And then they just yell and spurg about like, you don't even know the right academic term. And then they'll go on some nonsense that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, just so that they can confuse his audience with like a bunch of big words. Silver doing anarcho-Christianity in 2025 wasn't on my bingo card, but okay. Yeah, I have no problem with the anarcho-Christians. I mean, I think Christianity is one of the few monotheistic religions that is commiserate with anarchism and can be interpreted that way. Obviously, I have certain issues with Christianity, but like in terms of like fish to fry, like they're not in my top 10. You know what I mean? I've been told it can't be done, for sure. Like I've heard that tons, right? Like especially from the Christnats, right? But I mean, their arguments as to why you must have a king and things of that nature, I think they fall apart under inspection. And if they are presupposing logic is real, then thou shalt not steal. There's no real fucking argument for the state at that point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, either you believe contradictions are real and can exist, and therefore you're speaking gobbledygook, or you believe that God commanded you that it is a sin to steal and taxation is theft, very obviously. And they try and wiggle around it or whatever. But I mean, I find most of the Christians that are arguing are, you know, they're okay with believing in contradiction. God is real. Even the atheists can't stop thinking about God. All right. I mean, if I couldn't stop thinking about fucking unicorns because I was a brony, that wouldn't mean unicorns are real. It just means I'm a fucking pervert. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. What are you talking about? My favorite part of getting my master's in law at Liberty University was them unironically making us read all the Bible verses, proving we don't need a king, and then just folding back on the Bible. LOL. Yeah, dude. I went to Liberty for grad school as well, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, just like you know, making arguments from a, you know, like from mostly I just use the Old Testament. Is that Final Fantasy 11 in the background? Yeah. I used to pay, up until a couple weeks ago, I used to pay Pretzel Rocks $120 to have background music. And then I kept getting copyright claims over and over and over and over again for music that I pay for. And my videos kept getting killed in the algorithm because it was being put in forward as if I had all these copyright claims. And then they would sit for like 40 fucking days because all these Chinese and Indian bot farms kept copyright claiming shit, trying to share revenue and steal, you know, the ad revenue from my videos because of like bullshit IP claims. So now I just play video game music in the background because it doesn't get copyright claims. Objective truth is true even if every human denies it. Well, yeah. And value is subjective. Yeah. So right now, I'm listening to just like a relaxing Final Fantasy music for 5 hours. That's what's in the background. Just so that there's something in the background. But I'm going to get out of here, boys. I love you. I love you all. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the donations and the questions. If you have any clips for the new intro video, send them to me tonight and tomorrow, and I might be able to like put them into the new intro video. All right? Just crazy shit that happened in the last year in politics, funny moments, etc. Join the Discord, send them to me. Make sure that the clip in question is, you know, not super long, because like I'm trying to put a bunch of clips together that are like, you know, a sensational, look at how crazy the world is. Look how crazy, you know, like look how crazy Republicans are. Look how crazy lefties are and shit. To just like put into like an under, you know, 7 or 8 minute video so that we have something to watch when people are coming in the stream first. You know, obviously I have some stuff and I got to put it together and edit it or whatever, but, you know, DM me over Discord or at me in media recommendations or something, or in general. And, we'll definitely have fun. Probably will almost certainly be back Monday. Maybe we'll do like a Prime Kaiser or something, and I'll stream next week. Then I have the kids that weekend. Then we'll probably stream Monday again, but then we probably won't do anything for the rest of the week because I got to prep to leave like Thursday to go to Nashville for DebateCon. And I should be doing a debate or two there at DebateCon. But you'll probably find that on like Gibbs's channel, because like I think me and Average Debate Enjoyer are going to do like a live debate if we can get that going at DebateCon, at like Gibbs's event or whatever. And I think Gibbs is trying to get me to debate somebody on something. Like it was going to be Enemy Charlie, but then she's doing like a photo shoot with like cute bots people and shit. So like that kind of fell through. But yeah, so it should be fun. And I love you guys. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Links are in the description. Appreciate all the love and support. You know, and I'll see you guys Monday probably. And if not, you know, I'll see you in Twitter and Discord.